हेलो एवरीवन, स्टार्ट स्ट्रीम तो आ गया था वहाँ पे। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू चैप्टर्स। आई होप दैट योर प्रिपरेशंस आर रियली गोइंग वेल फॉर द अपकमिंग एग्जाम. Please give me a thumbs up in the chat box if I am audible and visible to all of you so that we can start with the today's session. So hello Kashish, Harshal, ABC, Pratyush, Pranav, and all the people who have joined us live today in this session. My dear friends, good afternoon to all of you. And I believe that you have revised the previous sessions also that we have covered till now. And you are already aware that in these current affairs weekly revision session, this is basically the sixth class, right? This is the class number 6, and we are already done with the week number 1, week number 2, and week number 3 ka part 1 is already done, and today we are on the part number 2. So yesterday we have covered the news articles of phase 1 and 2 from the examination point of view, and today we will be covering the another important part of phase 1 and 2, and that is basically your RBI notifications. So thank you for giving me a thumbs up in the chat box that yes, everything is good and we are good to go with the session. Okay, thank you everyone for giving me your responses. Now, before starting with the session, I would like to ask you some important questions from the last session, right? So please quickly tell me in the chat box, when it comes to the Urban Challenge Fund scheme, what exactly is the total allocation that government has made for this Urban Challenge Fund scheme? What is that particular amount? Quickly tell me in the chat box. That amount is 1 lakh crore rupees. Absolutely right. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. आगे बढ़ते हैं दूसरी बात पर. So government constitutes AI governance and economic group. Can anybody tell me the name of the ministry under which this group has been created? The name of the ministry under which this group has been created? It is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Now moving to the third part. So LSE has come up with the two important initiatives, a kind of mobile applications. These are, what are their names? These are My LIC and Super Sales Sathi. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, can anybody tell me the name of the country which has got the chair of BRICS for the year 2026? What is the name of that country? Yes, absolutely right. It is India. And what is the theme for this year? I told you the theme is BRICS, right? What exactly BRICS stands for? It's Building Resilience, Innovation, Cooperation and Sustainability. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. आगे बढ़ेंगे. Now quickly tell me that what are the three components of the seed scheme? What are the three different components of the seed scheme? I told you that if these three things are not there, then the life of the person will be hell. So what exactly it is? Health, education and livelihood. Health, education and livelihood is the right answer. Absolutely right. Now moving ahead, Cabinet has approved the creation of Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool. Can anybody tell me that what is the total allocation that government has set for this particular pool? What is the total allocation for Bharat Maritime Insurance Pool? It is 12,980 crores, right? Absolutely. Well done ABC, Pratyush, Material Share, Kashish, Harshal, Pranav, Ram Sai. Everybody has given me the right answer. Well done, my dear friend. This shows that you have come up with a full revision of the previous session. Now can anybody tell me that what is the full form of Vani scheme? In the Vani scheme, what exactly Vani stands for? It is the vibrant advancement of. Quickly tell me in the chat box. Let me see who will give me the right answer to this question. We are talking about the Vani scheme. Vani scheme stands for, we all know that it was being launched for removing the linguistic barriers in the technical education. So it's vibrant advancement of Indian languages. Are you sure this is right? Or there is something else that you are basically forgetting here? Exactly. It is a vibrant advocacy for advancement of the Indian languages. Absolutely right. And nurturement of Indian languages. Absolutely right. Well done, my dear friends. Now quickly tell me the name of the organization which launched the Trade Watch quarterly report. It is Niti Aayog, right? And in which year Niti Aayog was established? In which year Niti Aayog was established? We have already covered in the previous sessions. The Niti Aayog was established in 1st January 2015, and it replaced the Planning Commission, right? Who is the chairman of Niti Aayog? It is the Prime Minister of India. Bilkul sahi. Now guys, please tell me what are the 8 core industries in India? In the index of 8 core industries, what exactly are those 8 core industries? I told you that there is a particular the acronym that we have to remember, that is FRENCS, right? What exactly it stands for? Fertilizer, refinery products, right? Natural gas, cement, crude oil, steel, electricity, right? So that's how you are really able to remember all these details. Well done, my dear friend. Now quickly tell me another important part. So please tell me the Atal Pension Yojana. What is the minimum age to join the Atal Pension Yojana? What is the minimum age to join Atal Pension Yojana? It is 18 years. And what is the maximum age? 40 years. At what age you basically start receiving the pension? That is at the age of 60 years. What is the minimum pension that one can get? 1000 rupees. What is the maximum pension one can get? 5000 rupees. Right? Are you guys able to retain all this information from examination point of view? See, my dear friend, that's how we have to revise the things. That's how we have to retain the things from exam point of view. So well done, Srishti, Pranav, Material Share, ABC, Riya, Pratyush, Harshal, Kashish, Ayushi. All the people, well done. That's how I want all of you to remember all these details. So are you guys able to retain all the important information from examination point of view? So definitely this will give you a lot of confidence now for the upcoming exam. Okay. So now let's start with a very important part. You all are preparing to go in the RBI. So what exactly RBI is doing? We have to sure that yes, we are covering that also in a very beautiful manner. That is the RBI notifications. RBI notifications are those articles which are basically covered in the RBI website, which are already covered in the RBI website, right? Now before moving, so my dear friends, before moving on to the upcoming part, so yesterday I got so many doubts from the people that sir, from where exactly? So we were receiving so many calls that from where exactly we have to access these PDFs of this particular session. So once again, before starting the session, I am again telling all of you so that you are able to understand from where exactly you have to access the PDFs, right? So here, just go to the chapters. On the top right corner, you can see that course button is there. Just click on packages. You will see the current affair package here. Open the current affair package, and right now we are in the month of April, right? So go to the month of April 2026, and here you will see all the PDFs are being provided here, right? For example, yesterday we have started 16 to 22nd of April. So here you can see the weekly current affair chapter of 16 to 22nd April is there. The class number 1 YouTube session is there. And additionally, we are also placing here the Drishyam round PDF. So everything is already been provided to you there only, right? So please, my dear friends, if you are someone who is new to this ecosystem, this is the place from where exactly you can identify that, okay, from where you will be looking at the PDFs. Clear to everyone? So now let's move ahead, and without wasting any more time, let's start the session. It is a very important part from the examination point of view, that is the RBI notifications, and today we will be covering this entire document, my dear friends, right? So what is the first article? launching of 114th round of quarterly industrial outlook survey. So I will be giving you only the concept of this survey, my dear friends. Why? Because it is not that much relevant from examination point of view, right? So let me ask you a very important thing. Let's take an example that you are a CEO of a world's renowned company, for example, Tata Motors. You are a CEO of Tata Motors, right? And you want to start the production of a new car. So what exactly you will be asking yourself and to your employees? So basically you will be thinking first of all that okay, what kind of car we required, what is the demand of that car, right? Whether people need car or not, whether they are more interested in the bikes, bicycles, or they are more interested in the cars. So all these questions will be there, right? So basically we are trying to understand the mood of the public. Okay, we are trying to understand the mood of the public, that okay, so what exactly the sentiments of the public is, and on the basis of that only we will be designing the complete car, we will be adding the different features of the car, we will be adding the different details to the car, right? We will be adding the different, all the important things, flexibilities and the comfort to the car on the basis of the requirement of the people. Similarly, my dear friends, RBI, now let's come back to the RBI, right? So quarterly industrial outlook survey is being conducted by the Reserve Bank of India. So let me tell you that this is basically a mood survey. Here we are basically identifying the mood of whom? Of these industries. The manufacturing industries are there, so we will be identifying their mood. So basically we will be asking them that okay, what do you think, that the demand is going to increase or decrease? What do you think, that the prices will increase or decrease? Will you hire people or will you fire people? Will you increase the prices of the products or will you decrease the prices of the products? So we are just trying to identify your mood, right? On the basis of that we will be seeing that okay, how exactly the change is going to happen in the upcoming time in the Indian economy. So let me tell you, my dear friends, when a change happens in the economy, before that the basic thing which happens is the change in the mood of the people, whether they want to invest the money, whether they want to basically keep the money to themselves, right? So that's where the first thing starts, and that is why the Reserve Bank of India also conducts such kind of survey where basically they are deciding and identifying the qualitative details, not the quantitative part, right? So RBI is not asking them that आपकी कितनी डिमांड बढ़ेगी, कितना प्राइस इंक्रीज करोगे, how many people you will hire. No, we don't want any numbers, we only want the quality responses from you on the demand conditions, financial conditions, whether your capital workflow is going good or not, your employment conditions, how many people basically will you hire or fire, or the price situation, will you increase the price or the decrease the price. On the basis of that they will be trying to identify that okay, what are the business sentiments for the quarter year and what are the expectations for the next quarter, and that's how we will be able to understand, right? So basically guys, RBI do not conduct this particular survey on its own, it basically outsources it. So basically what it happens is that it has outsourced this duty to Genesis Management and Market Research Private Limited, which has been authorized to conduct the survey on the behalf of Reserve Bank of India. Clear to you? So for this round the name of the company is Genesis Management and Market Research. Let me tell you again very clearly that you will not be having any question in the examination from this survey, very less probability. But are you able to understand the concept behind the survey? See guys, let me tell you that the sessions that we are conducting on the YouTube, right? So these are not just for the examination. See, when we were starting chapters, when we were just thinking about the chapters, so we just thought that we want to provide education to the people. Even the person who is unable to afford the education, so that person can come here on the YouTube platform, that person can get the education, can get the ideas what exactly is happening. So our first objective of launching the chapters was only to provide the education, right? And that is why, see, although this particular article is having no much importance, but as you are really preparing to go and enter into the RBI, so I have told you all the key details about this particular survey, that okay, see, that's why we are conducting this survey, that what are the different things we are having in this survey. Clear to you? So my dear friends, That part is really very important. So you also don't just study for the examination point of view. You are the responsible citizens of the nation. You must remember that, okay, what exactly is happening in my country, how exactly it is impacting me. Please tell me in the chat box, please correct me if I am wrong, if this is more better than just preparing for the examination. Right? What do you think, my dear friends? Just reading the things for the examination or reading it for the self knowledge? Both of them are important, but the knowledge is more important for you, right? So I hope that this survey is very much clear to everyone. Now let's move ahead to the next survey, that is the quarterly services and infrastructure outlook survey, that is SIOS survey. So my dear friends, a very important point. See, just we have covered the mood survey of industries, right, in the previous article. Now let me tell you that this survey is a twin brother of the previous survey only, but here the audience has got changed. Earlier we were asking questions to the industries, now we are having the services and infrastructure stakeholders, to which we will be asking the same questions, the questions on the demand conditions, financial conditions, employment conditions, and the price situation. So we are just only asking the questions to this new audience. See, so this is basically clear to everyone, right? So this survey is only the twin brother of the previous survey only. Clear? And again, Genesis Management and Market Research is the name of that company which is going to conduct this survey on the behalf of Reserve Bank of India. Everything is going to remain same. What is going to be the demand, financial conditions, employment conditions, price situation, all these things will be asked, but to the new audience as a part of services and infrastructure outlook survey. Clear to you? Now let's move on to the next article. So I believe that the first two surveys are clear to everyone. Okay. Now moving ahead, RBI announces the results of 4th edition of its global hackathon, Harbinger. So my dear friend, before moving on to this Harbinger, I would like to ask you, what do you think? That RBI only regulates or RBI innovates also? What do you think? Please tell me in the chat box by yes or no. If you think RBI innovates also, please type yes. If you think RBI do not innovate, please type no. See my dear friends, we all know that in the Indian banking sector there are so many problems that are basically arising, right? And who is having the responsibility to solve these problems? That is the Reserve Bank of India, right? So whatever the problems that RBI sees that, okay, banks are facing, so and RBI is not able to resolve those issues, what exactly it says? It throws the open challenge. Anyone who is having that kind of guts and that kind of knowledge and application, so please come and try to solve this problem. You know, this kind of challenge where people are coming and they are trying to solve the problem which the Indian banking sector is facing as a part of this particular initiative taken by the RBI. This is called a hackathon. Just try to think that you must have seen the Shark Tank, right? Most of you must have seen the Shark Tank. So there the different startups comes and they just pitch their startups, right? So similarly here what happens is that the problem is there and the different experts are coming and they pitch their solutions in this hackathon. So this particular initiative, this particular whole arrangement is called hackathon. कि आरबीआई खुला चैलेंज दे रहा है कि भाई आओ, जिसमें दम है इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करके दिखाओ, ठीक है, इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करके दिखाओ. दैट्स ऑल वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. सो रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया हैज़ बेसिकली announced the result of 4th edition of its global hackathon, that is Harbinger. Let me tell you my dear friends what exactly Harbinger means. It is a signal of change. Like you my dear friends, you are the harbinger, you are the signal of change, where you are basically getting the required education to change the upcoming areas, like how the banking sector will be looking like in the next 30 years. You will be contributing in that particular change, right? Similarly, Harbinger is a signal of change, and with this hackathon, RBI basically defines that what kind of changes are going to come in the upcoming timeline in the Indian banking sector. Okay, what kind of changes are going to come in the Indian banking sector in the upcoming timeline. That's why this Harbinger comes, because the solution that we get as a part of this hackathon, so these solutions then further commercialized and they are being adopted by the RBI. Clear? Now when it comes to this Harbinger 4th edition, it was basically announced by RBI in October 2025 and under the scenario of innovation for transformation. So we are innovating because we want to transform. This was the 4th edition of the Global Hackathon of the Reserve Bank of India. Clear to everyone? Where participants are invited to develop solutions using technology and innovative approaches under the following. Right? So basically, what was the theme of this particular year? The theme was secure banking powered by identity, integrity and inclusivity. Okay, so these are the three pillars: identity, integrity and inclusivity. Remember them as the 3 I's. So secure banking will be powered by 3 I's. Identity, right? So basically, who are you? What is your name? Right? Whether there is a trust between the system or not. And then the inclusivity, whether everybody is included in this particular system of secure banking or not. So all these are the 3 pillars. Now my dear friend, this year the problem statements were tokenized KYC, offline CBDC and enhancing trust. So tokenized KYC, what exactly it means? Let me tell you guys that let's take an example that you have done your KYC once. You have done your KYC for once, right? And the same KYC has been used in all these areas. In all the areas. So we are further using the KYC in all the areas. You are not required to do the KYC again and again and again. So that is the part under the tokenized KYC. Then we are having offline CBDC, that is e-rupee. So my dear friends, you all know that UPI basically works for online, right? UPI online काम करता है, right? But in the rural areas, in the hilly areas, when you will be going to Ladakh, you will not find good network there. So how exactly you will pay? In the rural areas, you won't be getting a better network. So how exactly you will be paying? By offline CBDC, central bank digital currency, e-rupee. So we are trying to identify a system with the help of which we can basically pay in an offline mode, just like cash. So we don't need any network while we are paying in the cash. I am having the currency note of 100 rupees with me and I want to eat a burger or 2 burgers, right? So basically I have just went there and I just paid in the cash. Whether the network is there or not, it doesn't matter. Similarly, we want to ensure that the CBDC is also working in the similar manner. Clear? Now my dear friend, the winners of these Harbinger have been announced, and in the tokenized KYC, the winner is Earthlet Technology Limited, UK for Sangraha. For the offline CBDC problem, the winner is Team Spursh. For enhancing trust, we are having a runner-up, that is Team Fraudulence. Okay? And the best all-women team, a team comprising of only women members across all the 3 problem statements. So that was Bank of Baroda team. Clear to everyone? Everybody able to understand these news articles? So can anybody tell me that what was the theme of the Harbinger 2025? The theme was secure banking through identity, integrity and I told you that there are 3 I's, right? Inclusivity, absolutely right, well done. And what are the 3 problem statements this year? One was the tokenized KYC, one is the offline CBDC and the other one was enhancing trust. Let me tell you, my dear friend, that the winners are not that much important, but question definitely can be asked across this line. Okay, I hope this is clear. Moving on to the next article. So my dear friends, before moving on to the next article, I would like to request all of you that if you are really enjoying these sessions and you are really loving the way we are conducting these sessions, and you think that there is any other aspirant, the fellow aspirant of yours, who cannot basically afford expensive courses, so at least that person can come to the YouTube channel and try to watch the session, so that at least something that student will be able to retain from the YouTube classes only, right? Because just from the YouTube you will be able to cover the things. So we just want to reach maximum to the maximum students, right? If you think that we are having that quality thing in chapters, definitely you can spread the word, right? Now moving ahead to the next news article, that is the risk management and interbank dealings. So my dear friends, in the first week of the April 2026, we have discussed about this risk management and interbank dealings, right? Where we discussed the example of Amit. I believe all of you are really able to remember where there was a person, Amit, who was basically a very shrewd person. So first he wanted to lock the price of the currency, and after that he started doing fake hedging of that currency. So RBI basically caught him. Then RBI came up with a circular on the risk management and interbank dealings, where we saw that there was some kind of rules regarding the deliverable and the non-deliverable contracts in the INR, right? So RBI basically told that non-deliverable contracts are not allowed now, deliverable contracts will be allowed, right? But for that also we were having a condition. Okay, now let me tell you that considering that notification only, now RBI has made another changes in this, right? Now today we will be understanding this with the help of a different example. Clear? So my dear friends, please tell me here again for making things more clear to all of you. Let's take an example that you are a company who do import or export. You are a company who do import or the export, right? So in the import and export, what happens is, what is the main thing, what is the main problem that you can face? Can anybody tell me? What is the main risk that you can face? The risk is basically the depreciation of Indian currency, right? Indian rupee, because you have basically sell the articles of a higher value, but because rupee has depreciated, so basically rupee will go down, right? And you will be getting less amount of money. Just try to understand this with the help of another example. Let's take an example that your marriage has been fixed. Let's take an example that your marriage has been fixed. Okay, your marriage has been fixed, and right now, like after 6 months, it is your marriage, right? After 6 months you are having your marriage. So what exactly you will do, you know that when the marriage is going to take place, at that point of time there will be a lot of demand of the marriage halls, right? And at that point of time the marriage hall wala bhaiya will be asking a muh boli कीमत, right? He will be just opening his mouth as wide as possible to get more and more money from you, right? So what you do in that case, you basically today only you will go to the marriage hall ki okay bhaiya, I want to just lock the price, that see right now I am just locking this price of 1 lakh rupees, because you were having inside, deep inside you were having that particular fear that by that time the prices will be 1.5 lakhs or 1.75 lakhs because of the huge demand of the marriage halls, right? Of a good marriage hall. So you will be doing pre-booking today only, right? So basically here again what you have done, you have locked the price. Similarly, as that import export company, what you can do, you can lock the price of the currency, right? So now what exactly happens is, my dear friends, for example, that particular company was X. Okay, now it saw that okay, why not we just we are having some other subsidiaries also, right? In my company, in this company we are having some other subsidiaries also. Why not we just sign the contracts with each other? These subsidiaries are signing the contracts with each other, which will basically called a fake hedging, right? because they are shifting the risk, they are shifting the profits, right? So this is something which is basically going to be problematic for the Reserve Bank of India, because it can cause the chaos in the Indian economy, and that is the reason RBI came up with these guidelines now. Okay, clear? I hope that you are able to understand the points. Now my dear friends, let's move ahead. So here the Reserve Bank of India has issued a fresh regulatory instruction under the Foreign Exchange Management Act regarding foreign exchange derivative transactions involving INR. So I already told you that when they want to lock in the prices of the currency, so they basically invest in the forex derivatives, right? So foreign exchange derivative transactions which involves the INR. So in this part RBI has made some changes, and RBI has withdrawn the risk management interbank dealings notification that it launched earlier in the first week of April, right? So here what it has done, RBI decided that authorized dealers shall not undertake any foreign exchange derivative contract which involves INR with their related parties except for the following. So authorized dealers cannot undertake any foreign exchange derivative with its related parties, with its subsidiaries. तो subsidiaries के साथ they cannot take any such kind of derivatives, right? But there are some cases where they can be done. See guys, you all know that forex derivatives are basically long term, right? So what happens is that if today I am investing in it, I am signing a contract, and tomorrow I am saying that okay, no, now I am no more interested. So this is not the scenario. Like let's take an example, 100 people have basically signed a contract and 90 people tomorrow says that okay, we are not able to do that, right? We are cancelling the contract. It can create a chaos. So that is why Reserve Bank of India has put a limitation on this, right? And that's where the authorized dealers are now being allowed, for which case the cancellation and the rollover of existing contracts. Like if you cancel, then you are not allowed, right, again in the same market. The next thing is rollover. What is the rollover? For example, the maturity date of that contract was 30th June, right? 30th June. So you are not cancelling your contract, you are just extending the date to, let's take an example, 30th July. That's it. So this is called a rollover. Clear to everyone? So in these two scenarios, basically RBI has allowed the authorized dealers. Now the banks are allowed to cancel or roll over existing derivative contracts with the related parties. So banks क्या कर सकते हैं? वो cancel कर सकते हैं, वो roll over कर सकते हैं, right? But now they cannot undertake any foreign exchange derivative contract which involves the INR, right? This is a practical necessity as financial contracts often span long durations, and an immediate blanket termination would have created a operational chaos and potential financial instability. That I already told you. If there is an immediate cancellation, then definitely it is going to create a chaos. By allowing the cancellation rollover, RBI ensures a smooth transition without disturbing existing exposures. So the exposures which can really impact the economy for now, so what we can do, that we can basically ensure a smooth transition without disturbing the existing exposures of the same, right? Now what is the second condition? The second condition is transactions undertaken with non-related non-resident users on a back-to-back basis. So basically here guys, RBI says clearly that bank is not going to take any risk here. Bank will not be taking any kind of risk. So let's take an example that there is a client A, right, who want to sell, and there is a client B. Let's take an example that there is a client D who want to purchase. So basically bank, what will be doing is bank will make them meet, right, so that they are matching up both of their requirements. That's it. So this is something that bank can do. So bank in itself is not taking any kind of risk, right? So only bank is doing this part. Okay, so in such transactions the bank does not take an independent exposure. Bank is not taking any risk. It acts as an intermediary, matching one transaction with another to offset the risk. That's it. Clear to everyone? And the key conditions here are that the end user must be non-related and typically non-resident. First of all, that the end user was basically non-related. The user should not be related anywhere with that particular bank, and additionally that person should be non-resident. That is the best scenario. Okay, So they have clearly said that end user must be non-related and typically non-resident, under which we will be ensuring that transaction is genuine and market driven rather than an internal arrangement with a corporate group. If it would have been the domestic one only, so what will happen is, so definitely it could have been the scenario that they have just tried to make an arrangement, right, to offset the risk. But here what will happen is that they are not making that. If the person is basically non-resident, so that means that person will be a genuine one who want to purchase it. So that's what we are trying to do here. So this preserves the role of the banks as the facilitators of hedging for the global clients while still preventing misuse within the related identity. So इससे misuse भी नहीं होगा, and the global clients who wanted to do some hedging, they are also getting that particular opportunity. So this is a move because derivative contracts are widely used for hedging currency risk and restricting the counterparties, directly affecting how risk can be managed within corporate groups. Clear to everyone? And these instructions shall be applicable with the immediate effect. So we have covered here the two conditions majorly. Can anybody tell me what are the two conditions? The first condition was, which has been allowed by the RBI for these authorized dealers, that is the condition of cancellation and rollover, right? And what is the next thing? The next thing is basically no back-to-back transaction for the bank. Clear to everyone? Clear है सभी को? Okay. So my dear friends, now let's try to solve the questions. Now let's try to solve the MCQs. Sorry, not the MCQs. But the quick recall. This is the time of the quick recall. Because after that we are having a very, very important article, right? So here, Reserve Bank of India has organized its 4th Global Hackathon Harbinger 2025 in October 2025. So what was the key title of this Harbinger 2025? What is the key title? It is Innovation for Transformation. It is Innovation for Transformation. Absolutely right. Moving ahead, what was the theme? The theme was secure banking through identity, integrity and inclusivity. Now what are the problem statement? These are KYC, that is tokenized KYC, and enhancing trust. And what is the name of the third one? The third problem? Offline CBDC. Offline CBDC is the right answer. Clear to all of you? Clear to all of you? Yes. I can see that all the people have given me the right answer. Now let's move ahead to the next part. So RBI has withdrawn the risk management and interbank dealings. So it has been decided that Dash shall not undertake any foreign exchange derivative contract. Who are these people? Authorized dealers, right? The contract involving what? INR derivatives with the related parties except for the following. So one was, banks are allowed to cancel or roll over existing derivative contracts. The transactions undertaken with the non-related and non-resident users on a back-to-back basis. Absolutely right. In such transactions, the bank does not take an independent exposure. Instead, it acts as a Dash. It will be acting as an intermediary, matching one transaction with another to offset risk. Now the key conditions here are that the key end user must be Dash. End user must be non-related and typically non-resident. Clear to everyone? Everybody able to understand the points? So please tell me quickly in the chat box, how are you feeling after giving all the right answers to these very important questions that we have discussed. So everybody is able to give me the right answers. Okay, that's really good, my dear friends. Let's move ahead to the next article. Now the next article is Digital Payments E-Mandate Framework 2026. Now, my dear friends, comes a very important part. This is a really very important article. That's why I have marked star here, right? So what exactly it is? Digital Payments E-Mandate Framework. Okay. So let's take an example, my dear friends. Most of you will be having the subscription of Netflix, right? Netflix. Let's take an example. You are having a monthly subscription. Okay. What happens after the end of the month? Automatically the amount is deducted. Amount deducted from your account, and you get the subscription for another month, right? Do you guys know that there might be people who are not into the Netflix but they are into the SIPs, right? And what again happens, that at the end of the month, the SIP, the amount that they were supposed to pay, so that automatically deducts from their accounts. So let me tell you, my dear friends, the permission that you give to the bank to automatically deduct that desired amount, that particular amount from your account on that particular date, is basically called the e-mandate. Clear? Getting the point? So basically you have permitted the bank that yes, on this particular date, on this particular time, this particular amount can be deducted. So there are so many areas where this happens, like Netflix, Amazon, SIPs. There are so many areas for that, right? So my dear friends, what was happening earlier is that I know that I have provided the permission and the bank will be deducting the amount, right? But when they will be deducting, what amount will be deducted, how will be deducted, whether I will be notified or not. So there were so many questions related to this earlier, and that is why RBI just saw these areas that yes, we need to work on those areas. Like I tell you that you always do the analysis, right? And you use that puncture approach and you basically try to resolve the issues that are there in your preparation, right? Similarly, also RBI also did that puncture approach and it came up with the digital payment e-mandate framework, right? So basically under this part, what exactly will be happening is, when the bank will be deducting the amount, 24 hours before, it will be notifying the customer that okay, I will be deducting the amount tomorrow at this point of time and this will be the amount and for this purpose, right? So now you are having the 24 hours. If you want to cancel that transaction, you can do that. For example, right now you are already having the Netflix subscription, but now you know that okay, on the 13th of June we are having the RBI Grade B officer exam paper. So and today your bank has given you that notification that okay, tomorrow we will be deducting the amount. So now you are having the amount with you and the time that yes, okay, tomorrow I can, before it basically deducts the amount, as this month I won't be able to watch my favorite movies and the episodes on the Netflix. So basically what I will be doing is I will be cancelling the e-mandate for this particular transaction. I will be cancelling the transaction, right? I won't allow the bank to execute this particular transaction. Are you guys getting it? Clear to everyone? Okay, absolutely right. So my dear friend, that's how it basically works. Okay. So here now we will be covering the digital payment e-mandate framework in a detailed manner. Okay. Now we will be covering it in a very detailed manner. So the Reserve Bank of India has consolidated all the circulars pertaining to e-mandate and issued the Digital Payment E-Mandate Framework 26, exercising of the powers conferred under the Section 18 of Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. So my dear friends, exactly, Herschel, it will be an option to modify the auto pay, right? So basically, under the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007, this particular framework has been launched by the Reserve Bank of India. And what is the e-mandate? It is the electronic mandate, which is the authorization given by a customer to a bank or a payment system to automatically debit money from their account for a recurring payments. So basically, for what kind of payment will be there? It will be including the recurring payments, right, which are basically happening again and again, which are quite regular every month. But this time, my dear friend, let me tell you that RBI has made some changes. And what these changes are, for example, they have said that, see, sometimes what happens is that the payment is fixed and sometimes payment is variable. For example, in terms of the Netflix, let's take an example that the payment will be only 199 per month. 199 per month, right? But when it comes to your electricity bill, it cannot be fixed. Sometimes it will be 800, sometimes it will be 400, sometimes it will be 900. So it is variable. So there are two types of transactions. One is the fixed transaction, one is the variable transaction. Netflix is an example of fixed. Electricity bill is the example of variable. Now, my dear friends, as we have allowed that for a particular reason, we are basically providing the mandate to the bank that, okay, you can deduct the amount, but it does not mean that unlimited amount can be deducted by you. There is no such kind of facility here that unlimited amount can be deducted, right? So basically, RBI says that, okay, what we can do is, for example, that there are some areas. For example, your credit card bill. Every month you have announced that, okay, you can just deduct the payment from my account for this particular bill. But what happens is that at a time what happened is that you have got a feeling and you saw the transaction in your credit card that there was a fraudulent transaction of rupees 1.5 lakhs, right? So basically here 1.5 lakh will be deducted from your account and it will be paid and the settlement will be there of the transaction. That's it. But your money is gone. So in that scenario, RBI says that, see, we are limiting this amount to the 1 lakh rupees. Clear? Now there are some other areas where exactly the e-mandate is really very helpful and very convenient. For example, you are basically living in a metropolitan city. In the metropolitan city, you have to recharge your metro card, right? So why to recharge it daily basis? So whenever it will be below 50 rupees, you have given the mandate that, okay, do the recharge of 1000 rupees. That's it. So it will automatically happen. So it will not be the case that like you are standing in the queue and a queue is behind, a very long queue behind you, and you are just trying to put your metro card there and it's not working there on the gate or entry or exit, right? So to avoid such kind of scenario, basically we have provided this particular mandate. Now let's try to see how exactly it will be done. So first of all, the applicability of this framework will be, the provision of these directions shall be applicable to all payment system providers and payment system participants. So for both of them this will be there, that is the providers as well as the participants. दोनों के लिए option रहेगा. In respect of processing of recurring transactions, domestic or cross-border, using cards, PPI or UPI. So with the help of these different areas, you can basically set the auto mandate, right? Now the registration and revocation of e-mandate. A customer desirous of opting for e-mandate facility shall undertake a one-time registration process. See, my dear friends, it's not that with automatically it will happen. I told you, you have to set the e-mandate, and for that the registration is very important. And again, RBI said that no bank is going to charge for this kind of facility because this is absolutely free. Like at chapters, all the YouTube classes are absolutely free for all of you, right? So similarly, there is a no charge for the e-mandate facility given to the customers, right? The mandate shall be registered only after the successful validation of additional factor authentication. Now what is AFA, my dear friends? Many times you see that whenever you are required to log into your bank account, you have to go through with some different steps, right? Sometimes you are getting the OTP. One time you have to enter the password, then you have to enter the OTP which is coming on your mobile or the email, and then only you are able to log in. So that is called the additional factor authentication, and this will be in addition to the normal process required by the issuer. Every mandate registered by the issuer shall specify the validity period of the e-mandate. So the entity which is issuing this mandate shall specify the validity period of the e-mandate, right? तो validity काफ़ी clear होनी चाहिए कि कितने months का है, कितने time बाद आपकी payment होगी, किस time पे होगी, कितनी payment होगी, everything. The issuer shall provide the customer with the facility to modify the validity period or withdraw the e-mandate at any point of time. At any point of time you can withdraw from here, right? There is no such kind of a ruling here. Now information about this facility shall be clearly communicated to the customer at the time of registration. When the person will be registering, at that point of time only we have to tell the customer that okay, see, even whenever you want to just remove this kind of e-mandate, you can do that. Now the e-mandate may be for either a pre-specified fixed amount or for a variable amount. We already discussed that, right? In the case of the variable mandates, the issuer shall provide the customer with the facility to specify the maximum value. For example, I told you that your electricity bill, right? Sometime can come 400, sometime can come 600, sometime 800 rupees. But let's take an example that it was, as you all know, that in the North India there is a lot of heat waves are going on, right? So basically this time what has happened is that you have basically used the air conditioner at your home for so long hours, and right now you are having the bill of 2000 rupees, right? So basically you need to see that okay, how exactly the 2000 bill has come. So for that you can set the target that okay, if the bill is below 1000 rupees, then kindly do keep it as a part of the e-mandate. If it is above than that, then definitely I will be paying that on my own. That is something that we can do, right? So the customer shall be given facility to choose or change a mode among the available options for receiving the pre-transaction notification from the issuer, and you can also avail the different facilities, right? The pre-transaction notification can be received on the SMS, email, in the different available options. Any modification in or withdrawal of existing e-mandate shall require AFA validation by the issuer. Now my dear friends, we are done with the pre-transaction. Now comes the processing of first transaction and subsequent recurring transaction. The first transaction under an e-mandate shall require the AFA validation. The first time when you are doing this transaction for your Netflix subscription, that will come under this part. If the first transaction is processed along the registration of the e-mandate, then AFA validation may be combined. Okay. Now payments under e-mandate shall not be subject to any other limits or controls set by the customer. तो वो किसी और लिमिट और कंट्रोल के अंदर नहीं आएगी. It will be subjected to this only. Now come the pre-transaction notification. So an issuer shall send a pre-transaction notification to the customer at least 24 hours prior to the actual charge or debit. That I already told you. The pre-transaction notification shall at the minimum inform the customer about the merchant's name, transaction amount, date, time of debit, reference number of e-mandate, reason for the debit, e-mandate registered by the customer. So all these things, right, will be provided to the customer beforehand, 24 hours before. The issuer shall provide a customer with a facility to opt out of any particular transaction or the e-mandate. और ऐसा कोई भी opt out जो होगा, that will be validated by the issuer using the additional factor authentication, and an intimation to this effect shall be sent to the customer. See my dear friends, even during the registration there was a requirement of AFA, and even when you are terminating that e-mandate, then also you will be having a AFA, right? So the pre-transaction notification is not required for e-mandates registered to auto-replenish balances of FASTag and the National Common Mobility Card. So I told you that some kind of areas which are really very convenient. For example, the FASTag, which are basically been used on a daily basis, right? You are traveling in a car, you are going through a toll plaza, you have to pay the FASTag. and then you are going in a metro, you have to use the national common mobility card. So for them we have basically removed this particular part. We are not required for e-mandates, right? Pre-transaction notification यहाँ पर requirement नहीं होगी. For the e-mandates, pre-transaction notification is not required here. Now comes the post-transaction notification. So issuer shall send a post-transaction notification to the customer that after the transaction happens, again the customer is required to be notified. At the minimum, inform the customer about the merchant name, transaction amount which has taken place, data and time of the debit, date and time, reference number of transactions, the reason for debit, that is e-mandate registered by the customer, and details on a grievance addressal. Clear to everyone? Now comes the transaction limits and velocity check. Guys, this is a very important part. I am marking the star here. This part is very important. See, the transaction limits and velocity checks are there. All the recurring transactions may be authorized without AFA up to rupees 15,000 per transaction. See, if the amount is up to rupees 15,000, then basically you can authorize it without the AFA, right? Transactions above this amount shall be subject to AFA. Payment of insurance premium, subscription to the mutual funds and credit card bill payments may be made without AFA up to rupees 1 lakh per transaction. So 1 lakh tak ki limit tak without any transaction you can do that. For the mutual funds, credit card bill payments, right? So that is something that we have to be basically careful about. Okay? So I hope that this is clear to everyone. So I hope that this is clear to everyone, my dear friends. So please remember that for a recurring transaction it will be rupees up to the limit of 15,000 per month, and for a premium subscription to mutual funds for a credit card bill the limit is up to rupees 1 lakh per transaction. Okay. Now the dispute resolution grievance addressal. So the RBI instructions on the limiting liability of customers for unauthorized transactions shall be applicable to recurring transactions under the e-mandate as well. RBI instructions on limiting liability of customers for unauthorized transactions shall be applicable to recurring transactions under the e-mandate as well, right? So these are the, so basically a same line is there, right? Just read one first single line only. It is the repetition. Don't worry, we will be removing that. Other provisions are there. No changes levied to the customer for availing the e-mandate facility. My dear friends, I told you that there is no charge. It is completely free of cost for the recurring transactions. In case of the cards, existing e-mandate can be mapped to the reissued card, right? For example, what happens is that I was having a debit card, it has expired and it has been reissued by the bank, right? So first I have to map down that reissued card. Okay. Now an acquirer shall ensure compliance with these transactions, with these directions by merchants onboarded by them. I hope all these details are clear to everyone. You guys are able to understand what is e-mandate, what exactly are the different conditions RBI has put on them, what are the different limits, what are the amounts, what are the charges of them. Everything is clear to everyone. If yes, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Okay, as everybody of you is able to understand it, now let's try to answer the questions. Let's try to solve the questions. Are you guys ready? Okay, let's start. The Digital Payment E-Mandate Framework 2026. So it has been launched by RBI under which act? Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. Absolutely right. The provision of these directions shall be applicable to all dash and payment system participants. So basically payment system providers and payment system participants. The mandate shall be registered only after successful validation of dash in addition to the normal process required by the issuer. After successful validation of registration and the AFA, additional factor authentication. Now the every e-mandate registered by the issuer shall specify the period of the e-mandate. Which period, my dear friends? The validity period. We are talking about the validity period. The e-mandate may be for either a pre-specified dash amount or a dash amount subject to the overall cap fixed by the RBI. It can be for the fixed amount and for a variable amount. Clear? Now the transaction under an e-mandate shall require dash validation. It requires an additional factor authentication validation again. An issuer shall send a pre-notification transaction notification to the customer at least how many hours? 24 hours before. The issuer shall provide a customer with the facility to dash of any particular transaction or e-mandate. To cancel. Right? Pre-transaction notification is not required for e-mandates registered to auto-replenish balances of which two parts? That is the FASTag and National Common Mobility Card. Clear to everyone? Moving ahead, all recurring transactions may be authorized without AFA up to rupees 15,000 per transaction. Payment of insurance premium, subscription to the mutual funds and credit card bill payments may be made without AFA up to rupees 1 lakh per transaction. Absolutely right. Now other provisions, dash charges shall be levied to the customer for availing the e-mandate facility. Please tell me what is the charge that will be levied? What is the charge that will be levied? Please tell me here in the chat box. So please quickly tell me in the chat box that what exactly is that charge. There will be no charge. No charge, right? So that's all. So my dear friends, let me tell you that I have covered this particular article very slowly so that you are able to understand it. See guys, this was the RBI notifications, right? And all these RBI notifications are very important because it's not just about retaining the facts and figures from the examination point of view. It's basically more about understanding the things, why they have been done, what are the different steps taken by RBI, so that it's not just for the phase 1 and phase 2. I want you to make you ready for the interview. When you will be sitting in the interview, right, you will be sitting there with high confidence that yes sir, I know this and that is why RBI is doing this and these are the different initiatives that RBI has taken. So that kind of clarity in your mind is really required. So I just don't want you to read the things and just keep on revising them. I want you to understand the things, right? So that when you are sitting in your interview now, you're not just sitting like an aspirant who want to be a RBI Grade B officer. You should think like a RBI Grade B officer, that yes, I am already there. It's just the final letter is yet to be issued from your end, but I am already a kind of RBI officer who is having all the information regarding the RBI. Clear to everyone? That is why these RBI notifications should be covered very comprehensively with a better understanding. Is there any single student who is having any single doubt in all these RBI notifications that we have covered till now? Any single student? No? Okay, so that means that we are good to go with the next part of the session. Now we will be moving on to the next part, that is the phase 1 news articles. Now my dear friends, phase 1 news articles, you all know that there is no such large amount of explanation is required in the phase 1 article, so we will be covering them in a very quick manner. Okay, I hope you guys will really be able to understand this. So we are already done with the most important articles of the third week of April, and now we are moving on to the phase 1 articles. So first article is WADA Global Anti-Doping Intelligence Conference was held in India. So my dear friends, recently that conference of the WADA, right, that is the World Anti-Doping Agency, Global Anti-Doping Intelligence and Investigations Network expansion phase in Asia and Oceania was held in New Delhi, right? And which organization was behind for organizing it and hosting it? That is the NADA. See guys, we are having the WADA जो वादा करता है कि there will be no anti-doping, there will be no doping, right, in the sports. So in India we are having a NADA for that. That is the National Anti-Doping Agency in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and Interpol, right? And they have basically discussed about the Operation Upstream. So guys, Operation Upstream investigation basically focuses on identifying and targeting the major suppliers of doping substances in the Asia and other global networks. So we are identifying them, we are targeting them, and we are nagging them, right? Clear to everyone? So WADA conference was held in New Delhi in India, hosted by NADA and Interpol. Moving to the next article, Vishwa Sutra. So Vishwa Sutra, waivers of India for the world. So my dear friends, you all know the power of our textile ministry, of the power of the textile industry of India, right? So the Office of the Development Commissioner under the Ministry of Textile has collaborated with Femina Miss India. You all know that, see, there are so much of the youth who basically follow the Femina Miss India, right? So they just thought that why not we are promoting the textile, the cultural textile of the country through this particular show, so that we are able to reach more masses. So where the participants are basically wearing these textiles, right? So the Femina Miss India platform to showcase Indian handlooms globally. The aim was very simple. We want to promote the visibility of the handlooms among youth, fashion industry stakeholders and global consumers, highlighting sustainability and cultural value. Clear? Under the initiative Vishwa Sutra, Waves of India for the World is an exclusive handloom collection which will be unveiled at the Femina Miss India grand finale. So basically it was unveiled during the grand finale only. Clear? The rest of these parts are not that important, but yes, please remember about the 5F framework of the government, that is farm to fiber, fiber to factory, factory to fashion, fashion to foreign. So how exactly it will be happening, guys? First of all, the product will be in the farm, then fiber will be created, then it will go to the factory, it will be converted into a good cloth, right? That is part of the fashion, and when our people will be wearing them, so we can basically tell the world about that. So that's how it will be going foreign then. Clear to everyone? Clear है सभी को? So Vishwa Sutra, Waves of India for the World, it has participated with the Femina Miss India, right? Next article, government has notified the India's first fabrication chip plant at Dholera SEZ, Special Economic Zone. So my dear friends, government notified a special economic zone at Dholera, Gujarat, which will be set up by Tata Semiconductor Manufacturing Private Limited. Now what exactly it will be doing? They will be supporting the development of a robust, competitive, resilient and future ready semiconductor ecosystem. So basically for the SEZ development, for the semiconductor chip making, this particular पार्ट हैज़ बीन अनाउंस्ड. इंडिया का पहला चिप फैब्रिकेशन प्लांट कहाँ होगा? धोलेरा में होगा. ठीक है, क्योंकि वहाँ बिल्कुल ढोल नगाड़ों के साथ दे हैव सेलिब्रेटेड दैट इज दिस इज द वेरी फर्स्ट प्लेस वेयर एग्जैक्टली दीज चिप्स विल बी क्रिएटेड. ओके, दैट्स हाउ यू कैन रिमेंबर. नाउ द पासिंग अवे ऑफ फॉर्मर राज्यसभा मेंबर मोहसिन किदवई. Former Rajya Sabha member Mohsin Kidwai has passed away recently. So the person was the member of Rajya Sabha from Chhattisgarh for the 2 terms. Okay, what is the name? Mohsin Kidwai. Now moving ahead, NBCFDC has recorded the highest ever performance in the fiscal year 25-26. So my dear friends, under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, they have achieved a record performance in the fiscal year 25-26. So National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation ने record performance हासिल की है. And how exactly? Basically they have dispersed 613.75 crores, which is an increase of 16%, and they facilitate concessional lending through the state channelizing agencies, banks and NBFCs for socio-economic empowerment of the OBCs. Similarly, my dear friends, we covered the seed scheme, right? Yesterday, can anybody tell me the full form of seed scheme? That is a scheme for economic empowerment of denotified tribes. Absolutely right. बिल्कुल सही जवाब. And what are the three important components of that? I told you, people's life will be hell if these three things are not there. What is health? That is health, education and livelihood. Absolutely right. Now, under the Vishwas Interest Subvention Scheme, NBC FDC fully utilized the 35.2 crore grant in the fiscal year 25-6. So, my dear friends, please tell me that what exactly is the name of that organization under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, which has achieved a record performance of disbursing 613.74 crore rupees. That is NBC FDC. Absolutely right. Okay, moving ahead, Indian Army has launched Sikkim's first border village Sikkim community radio station. What is the name of that station? 88.4 FM radio, Sikkim Sundari. So, my dear friends, Indian Army, Trishakti Crops has launched this 88.4 FM radio Sikkim Sundari initiative, where we are only, and this is the very first border village community radio station in Sikkim. The initiative aims to improve the communication and information access in remote high altitude border areas facing geographic isolation, harsh weather and limited connectivity. It provides reliable and timely communication, helping bridge the information gap in these regions. The station promotes local culture, youth participation, provides opportunities for youth. So guys, let me tell you that in the remote areas what happens is that there is a lot of information gap. So what exactly plays a very important role? Radio plays a very important role, because there, if you want to give the message to the entire area, you can use the radio to emit the message, right? So basically, as the first border village community radio station in Sikkim, it is the Radio Sikkim Sundari station 88.4 FM which has been launched. The people, anyone who from Sikkim here, so basically you can definitely get the most out of it. And the aim is very simple. We want to improve the communication and information access, right? Now moving ahead, guys, let's talk about some other initiatives taken by the Army for such kind of part. For example, they also came up with the idea of Radio Sangam in Rajouri, Jammu and Kashmir. We have Ibex Tarana in Jyotirmat of Uttarakhand, and stations in Ladakh, Dras, Kharu, Hanle to address the communication gaps. Clear है? So और कौन से तीन हैं हमारे स्टेशन? संगम है कहाँ पर? जम्मू एंड कश्मीर, राजौरी, इबेक्स तराना इन ज्योतिर्मठ ऑफ उत्तराखंड, एंड लद्दाख, द्रास, खारू, हानले. That's it. Clear to everyone? Let's move on to the next article. So Iraq elected Nizar Ahmadi as the new president. So he has taken over as the new president of the Iraq, that is Nizar Ahmadi. Now moving ahead, India's first open access Amravati quantum reference facility. So my dear friends, India की पहली open access अमरावती क्वांटम रेफरेंस फैसिलिटी. सो आंध्र प्रदेश गवर्नमेंट ने रिसेंटली इनॉग्रेट किया इंडिया की पहली ओपन एक्सेस अमरावती क्वांटम रेफरेंस फैसिलिटी इन अमरावती, राइट? द फैसिलिटी वाज लॉन्च इन द ओकेजन ऑफ वर्ल्ड क्वांटम डे. वर्ल्ड क्वांटम डे कब सेलिब्रेट होता है? 14 अप्रैल को सेलिब्रेट होता है. अ ट्रिब्यूट टू द फाउंडेशन ऑफ क्वांटम फिजिक्स, दैट इज प्लैंक्स कांस्टेंट. Now it includes Amravati 1S and Amravati 1Q. 1S is at SRM, 1Q is at Medha Towers. And that's how you can basically retain this information. So please tell me here, what is the name of that India's first open access Amravati quantum reference facility? Which government has signed an MOU for this? That is the Andhra Pradesh government, which has inaugurated India's first open access Amravati quantum reference facility. And it has been launched on 14th of April. The facility was launched on the occasion of World Quantum Day on 14th of April, which celebrates the Planck's constant. It includes the Amravati 1S at SRM and 1Q at Medha Towers. So that's all from here. Now, my dear friends, let me tell you that additionally, they have also unveiled a quantum computing policy, Andhra Pradesh, and it is developing a quantum valley. क्लियर है सभी को. नाउ IAF and GE Aerospace to establish engine prepare facility for Tejas. So Indian Air Force ने किस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ MOU साइन किया? GE Air Force signed a contract to set up an in-country depot facility for F404 IN-20 engines used in the flight combat aircraft of Tejas fleet. So Tejas fleet will be using this particular part, right? This is a depot facility for F404 in 20 engines. The facility will be established and operated by the Indian Air Force with the technical support, training, supply of spares and specialized equipment provided by GE Aerospace. Clear? Now guys, let's try to answer the questions. So WADA has global anti-doping intelligence conference held in which place? Please quickly tell me in the chat box. See my dear friends, let me tell you that it is very very important for us to participate in the quick call, answer the questions so that we are able to retain them from exam point of view. Clear? Now try to answer. This conference was held in New Delhi. New Delhi is the right answer. Now moving ahead, hosted by NADA in partnership with the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports and Interpol. The meeting has reviewed the outcomes of the latest phase of GAIN project, including the updates on the ongoing Dash investigation. What is the name of that operation? It was the upstream operation. It is the upstream operation. Absolutely right. Moving to the next question. Dash waves for India for the world. That is the Vishwa Sutra. So, Office of the Development Commissioner has collaborated with the Femina Miss India platform to showcase Indian handloom globally. What is the right answer? It is under the Ministry of Textiles. Aim to promote flexibility of handloom among these youth fashion industry stakeholders and digital consumers. Under the initiative Dash Vishwa Sutra Waves of India for the World, an exclusive handloom collection will be unveiled at the Femina Miss India. And guys, let me tell you that in the upcoming timeline we will also be covering that what is the name of the Femina Miss India for this year. Now please you tell me about the 5F framework. What exactly 5F framework stands for? So I told you, first of all it will be starting as at a farm. Farm to fabric in the factory. Then comes the fabric. Then they will be making a farm, fiber, fabric, fashion, and then foreign. Absolutely right. Well done everybody who has given me the right answer. Pratyush, Kashish, Material Share, Harshal, Srishti, Pranav, all the people who have joined us live day, everybody of you have given the right answer. Now let's move on to the next part. So government has notified the India's first chip fabrication plant at Dholera, Gujarat. The government notified a special economic zone at to be set up by MS Tata Semiconductors Manufacturing and Private Limited. So please tell me here what exactly is the name of the place where they have set it up. It is Dholera only. Now moving to the next part, the passing away of former Rajya Sabha member Mohsin Kidwai. What is the name of the person? Mohsin Kidwai. So she served as a member of Rajya Sabha from which state? Chhattisgarh. Dash recorded the highest ever performance in fiscal year 25-26. What is the name of that institution? It is NBC. What exactly it is? Dash recorded the highest ever performance in fiscal year 25-26, that is the NBCFDC. Absolutely right, NBCFDC is the right answer. Well done. Now it recorded the highest disbursement of Dash, increase of about 16% fiscal year 24-25. What is that percentage? Quickly tell me in the chat box. The highest ever disbursement of around 613 or 617 crore rupees. Absolutely right. Moving ahead. NBCFDC facilitates concessional lending through the state channelizing agencies, banks and NBFCs for socio-economic empowerment of OBCs. Under the Dash Interest Subvention Scheme, NBCFDC fully utilized 35.2 crore grant in fiscal year 25-26. What is the name of that interest subvention scheme? What is the name of the interest subvention scheme? It is a Vishwas interest subvention scheme. Absolutely right, Vishwas. Vishwas interest subvention scheme is the right answer. Now please tell me, Indian Army's Tri Shakti Corps has launched 88.4 FM radio. What is its name? Sikkim Sundari is the right answer. Moving ahead, the Indian Army is expanding the community radio network in the border regions, including radio Sangam and Rajouri in Jammu and Kashmir and Ibex Tarana. That is the right answer. And when it comes to the new president of Iraq, it is Ahmadi. Nizar Ahmadi is the right answer. Absolutely right. So my dear friends, I hope that till now everything is clear to all of you. Okay, so 2 questions are left. India's first open access dash quantum reference facility, that is Amravati. Amravati, right? And where exactly it has been located? In Andhra Pradesh, right? Now moving ahead, the facility was launched on the occasion of World Quantum Day. When exactly we celebrate this day? On 14th of June. ठीक है? It's 14th June or 14th April? It's 14th April, my dear friends. It's 14th April. So don't commit any mistake. Even I will be making you confused sometime by giving the wrong answer, so that at least I can see that whether you are attentive or not. Okay? Or you are just following the herd and giving the answers. Now moving ahead, it led to the foundation of quantum physics of what was that thing which is commemorated Planck's constant. It includes dash at the SRM University and at Medha Towers. It is Amravati 1S, Amravati 1Q. That's it. Now tell me the name of the institution which has signed an MOU with the GD Aerospace to establish engine repair facility for. So basically it is Indian Air Force. And facility for what? What will be the right answer here? Quickly tell me in the chat box. For Tejas fleet. Now the Dash and the GE Aerospace signed a contract to sign up in country depot facility for F404 IN-20 engines. So basically this is again Indian Air Force and the fleet is of Tejas. Clear है सभी को? So my dear friends, we are done with these 44 articles and now around 60 articles are left. Okay, so now first have 5 to 6 minutes of break, and after that we will be resuming this particular session. But let me tell you here, nobody is going to leave this session. You have to stay here only, right? Just go and have a glass of water and then definitely we can move ahead in the today's session. Clear? Clear to everyone? Okay. So now I will be meeting you in just next 6 minutes. Make sure you all everybody is coming back. So my dear future officers, are you guys back? Are you guys back? Please mark your attendance in the chat box so that we can start with the session. Okay. So let's resume the session. I hope that all the people have got a glass of water with themselves. So guys, please make sure you are keep on hydrating yourself, because it is really very important time for all of you to make sure that yes, you are staying fit and fine. Okay. Now moving ahead. Let's move on to the next article. That is the 9th Indian Ocean Conference to be held in Mauritius. So my dear friends, 9th Indian Ocean Conference, where basically different countries which are the alongside the Indian Ocean, they basically participate in that. Okay, and this time this will be the government of Mauritius which is hosting this particular event with the theme Collective Stewardship for Indian Ocean Conference Governance. Collective Stewardship for Indian Ocean Governance. So Indian Ocean region के अंदर, so that we are having a better governance. So that's why we are coming together and we are taking this particular initiative. So this will be bringing together leaders, policy makers and experts from across Indian Ocean region. But here one thing was basically being identified, that there was no delegate which attended this particular conference from Maldives. Okay. When it comes to Indian Ocean Conference, it was started in 2016 by the India Foundation and participation from 30 countries, and has become a major forum for discussing issues for the mutual trust. So please quickly tell me in the chat box what is the name of the country which will be hosting it. That is Mauritius. And what is the theme? The theme is Collective Stewardship for Indian Ocean Governance. Absolutely right. Let's move on to the next part. The International Day for Human Spaceflight was observed on 12th of April, right? So United Nations General Assembly has declared 12th April as the International Day of Human Spaceflight. Why so? This date has been designated as the International Day of Human Spaceflight because to mark the beginning of the space era and highlight the role of space science and technology in sustainable development and global well-being. The date commemorates 12th April 1961, when the first human spaceflight was carried out by Yuri Gagarin of the Soviet Union. So on 12th April 1961, we saw the first human space flight which was carried out by Yuri Gagarin of the Soviet Union, and that's why this date has been established and used. Okay. When it comes to 1961, my dear friends, can anybody tell me the name of the organization which was established? So NCERT. NCERT was established in 1961, right? Additionally, we have seen that Income Tax Act 1961 has been replaced now from 1st of April. From 1st of April 2026. Clear? That's how we can use the mind mapping technique in order to retain the information from examination point of view. Clear to you? That's how we have to, correlate the different news articles together. Now, after the first human space flight, we can see that on 4th October 1957, Sputnik 1 was the first human-made Earth satellite which was launched initiating the space exploration. Sputnik 1. It is the first human-made Earth satellite. Clear, everyone? Clear to you? Okay, ji. So let's move ahead to the next part. New gecko species has been discovered near Raimona National Park in Assam, and this is basically in the Kokrajhar district of Assam. The Raimona National Park. See guys, that particular species has also been named after Raimona National Park only. Right? The Raimona National Park is in the Indian state of Assam. Clear? Moving ahead, Vingroup has signed MOU with the Maharashtra for $6.5 billion investment. So Vietnam based Vingroup ने MOU साइन किया है with the Maharashtra government to explore investments worth $6.5 billion. So $6.5 billion worth of the investments will be made by Vingroup in Maharashtra, and they will be focusing on the Mumbai metropolitan region and other parts of Maharashtra, which will include urban townships, electric mobility, solutions, renewable energy, social and public infrastructure. As a part of the urban development, the company will explore integrated townships over 1000 hectares. These townships will include residential, commercial, educational, healthcare. So clear to everyone? So clear to everyone, Win Group has signed MOU with which Indian state? That is the Indian state of Maharashtra, and they will be investing $6.5 billion there. Moving ahead, Niti Aayog has launched the Divya Bharat. So my dear friends, Divya Bharat, a window to the soul of India anthology series has been launched by Niti Aayog. So this is basically going to promote the India's tourism landscape. So in order to promote the India's tourism landscape, we want to basically, Niti Aayog has come up with a Divya Bharat, a window to the soul of India. And we will be encouraging the balanced tourism by promoting travel across regions and the seasons. So my dear friends, in which season you have to go there, in which season do you have to go where? So that will be told about the Divya Bharat. Right? For example, when there is a snowfall, then at that point of time we can go and explore the mountain regions. Right? So that's how we can see here. So that is a part of Divya Bharat where we are basically promoting the India's tourism landscape. Now comes a very important part. A Concordia coaching depot has become India's first water neutral railway depot. Basically, my dear friends, you all know that in the railways, so basically the railway coaches, a lot of water is being used in order to clean these coaches. Now what this railway depot has done is that the water that has been wasted, they are treating that water and reusing that water. Getting it? So Concordia coaching depot in Ahmedabad has become India's first water neutral railway coaching depot. The depot saves 1.6 lakh liters of water through wastewater treatment and reuse, reducing dependency on the fresh water. And my dear friends, can anybody tell me that in 2030 what is the name of that place where India is going to host the Commonwealth Games? What is the name of that place? It is Ahmedabad. We have already covered it, right, in the previous session. So what is the name of that India's first water neutral railway depot? That is Concordia. Clear to everyone? Concordia coaching depot. That's it. Moving it, India participated in the World Border Security Congress 2026 in Vienna. So this Congress took place in Vienna, Austria. Right, when it comes to this Congress, it was established in 2012. Is a global platform for border management discussions. It focused upon developing the border strategies through cooperation and technology. So India has participated. Where exactly it has been taken place? It was held in Vienna, Austria. Clear? Moving ahead, India strengthens the heritage conservation and expands the global recognition. India strengthens heritage conservation and expands global recognition. So Archaeological Survey of India has safeguarded 3686 centrally protected monuments and improved conservation systems and scientific restoration methods. Let me tell you, my dear friend, there is a particular article of the Constitution which basically gives the power to the state to protect monuments, places and objects of artistic or historic interest. So what is that article? Article 49. So now comes a very important part, that India has 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. How many sites India are having? 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and Maratha military landscape was the last one to be added. Now cultural heritage in India included both tangible and the intangible forms. We are not required to cover more about here, right? So please tell me, what is the number of the centrally protected monuments under the Archaeological Survey of India? That is 3686. And what is the total number of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India? That is 44. Now my dear friends, let me tell you that Run for Nutrition Half Marathon was held in Mizoram, and it was organized in Mizoram as a part of the 8th Poshan Pakhwada initiative. We want to just raise awareness about the importance of the nutrition and the healthy lifestyles. Next article, BASIL has signed MOU with the CDAC. So Broadcast Engineering Consultants India Limited has signed MOU with the Center for Development of Advanced Computing. So CDEC is signing an MOU with the BESEL, that is Broadcast Engineering Consultants India Limited, right? And this collaboration will be aiming at joint project implementation, consultancy, technical support, and development of solutions in advanced and emerging technologies. Clear to everyone? So BESEL has signed with the MOU with the which organization? BESEL has signed an MOU with which organization? BESEL has signed an MOU with the CDAC. So CDAC is the name of that organization with which BESEL has signed this MOU. Clear to everyone? Okay, absolutely right. This is the right answer. Well done. Now moving ahead. Cabinet approves 2 railway multi-tracking projects. So basically we want to increase the length of the Indian railway network by about 601 kilometers. That is why 2 multi-tracking projects have been approved by the cabinet, and these 2 projects will be in the Andhra Pradesh and the Uttar Pradesh, right? So it will be covering 15 districts in UP and AP, and total cost will be 24,815 crore rupees. So this will be taking the total length to 1317 kilometers, and the 2 projects include Ghaziabad, Sitapur in Uttar Pradesh and Rajmundry, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Clear? Now let's try to solve the questions. So 9th Indian Ocean Conference to be held in which country? It is Mauritius. Mauritius is the right answer, right? Government of Mauritius is basically conducting this particular part. Now comes the theme of the IOC 2026. What is the theme of the Indian Ocean Conference 2026? Collective stewardship for better governance in Indian Ocean region. Something like that, right? Moving in, International Day of Human Spaceflight, 12th April. And in which year the date commemorates 12th April dash when the first human spaceflight was carried out? It is 1961 by the Yuri Gagarin of the Soviet Union. On 4th October 1957, Sputnik 1 was the first human-made Earth satellite which was launched. Now the new gigot species discovered near Raimono National Park. It is located in Kokrajhar district of Assam. Vingroup is going to invest in which state? It has signed an MOU with the Maharashtra for $6.5 billion investment in Maharashtra, right? Now Niti Aayog has launched Divya Bharat to promote tourism landscape in our country. It aims to encourage balanced tourism by promoting travel across the regions and seasons. Now Dash Depot become the India's first water neutral railway depot. Please quickly tell me the right answer, guys. Please be quick. Try to give the answer in the chat box. You should not lay back. You have to ensure that you are giving the answers in the chat box. What is it? What is the name of the depot? It's Concordia. It's Concordia Coaching Depot. Concordia Coaching Depot is the right answer. Well done. Next, India participates in the World Border Security Congress. It was held in Vienna, Austria. Vienna, Austria is the right answer. India strengthens the heritage conservation, expands global recognition. What is the number of centrally protected monuments in our country by ASI? 3686, right? And what is the article which gives duty to the state to protect monuments places? It's Article 49. How many UNESCO World Heritage Sites are there in India? 44, including the recent addition of Maratha military empires, right? Tell me the name of the institution which has signed MOU with the CDAC for joint project implementation, consultancy, technical support and development of solutions. That is BESEL. BESEL is the right answer. After that, my dear friends, we are having cabinet has approved the 2 railway multi-tracking projects. What are the name? It's Andhra Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. That is the right answer. Andhra Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh is the right answer. So guys, with this we are done. And now you can see the project will be increasing the existing Indian Railways network by about how many kilometers? 601 kilometers. Now quickly tell me in the chat box, how many of you have been able to answer all the questions correctly in the chat box? Are you guys feeling confident now after giving all the right answers? Please tell me here in the chat box. Are you guys feeling confident after giving answers to all these questions? Let me see who among you is able to answer all these questions in the chat box. So I can see Pratyush, Harshal, ABC, Kashish, Material Share, Srishti, Pranav, all the people are there who are really feeling confident now and who have basically tried to give the right answer to all these questions. Well done, my dear friends. So we are done with the 55 articles. Now just 45 more articles are left for the day. Okay, it's really great to see that yes, you are feeling very confident. Well done, my dear friends. Now let's move ahead. Government has approved the procurement measures for the potatoes, chana and tur. So basically potatoes will be procured in Uttar Pradesh, chana in Andhra Pradesh and tur procurement in Karnataka. So potato in Uttar Pradesh, chana in Andhra Pradesh and tur procurement in Karnataka. Right, so Uttar Pradesh procurement of 20 lakh metric tons of potatoes will be undertaken. Andhra Pradesh के अंदर there will be procurement ceiling of chana which has been extended now to 1,13,250 metric tons, and in Karnataka the procurement period of tur has been extended by 30 days till 15th of May 2026. So let me tell you here, the most important part is only the name of the states. So potato in Uttar Pradesh, chana in Andhra Pradesh and tur in Karnataka. Now moving ahead, NLDSL and Maharashtra has signed an MOU to digitize the logistic using ULIP. So my dear friends, we have covered so many articles in the previous session about the improving logistics, right? Similarly, now Maharashtra has signed this MOU with the NICDC Logistics Data Services Limited. With the government of Maharashtra, they will be digitizing the logistic ecosystem in the state. So whatever the logistics system is there, they will be digitizing it. We will be leveraging the unified logistics interface platform. It will improve visibility, streamline logistics operations, enhance coordination among the departments and support decision making and through real-time data. So they will be developing a unified digital platform which will be increasing the transparency, efficiency and global competitiveness. So basically here, my dear friends, to enhance the logistics in the state, NLDSL has signed this MOU to digitize logistics using ULIP. Clear? ULIP क्या है? It is a digital gateway which provides access to the logistic data. ये एक gateway है which basically provides access to the logistic data from multiple government systems through API based transactions and integrations. Clear? Now let's move ahead. The botanist wins WWF National Award for Invasive Plant Detection. The name of the person is N. Alim Yusuf. So N. Alim Yusuf, a researcher from Malabar Botanical Garden and Institute for Plant Species, Plant Sciences Kozhikode, has received the Worldwide Fund for Nature National Award. The award was given for developing an AI-powered mobile application to identify invasive plant species in Kerala. The application had identified nearly 100 invasive plant species recorded in Kerala. Clear to everyone? Now comes the next part. Former Rajya Sabha MP Balbir Punj has passed away. He was someone who worked at the Financial Express and was having a very good journalism career with the motherland, right? What is the name? Balbir Punj. He was also the former vice president of Bharatiya Janata Party. Now comes the next part. INS Suryana has departed Phuket in Thailand. So my dear friends, why exactly it was there? It was there for a passage exercise. So passage exercise has been conducted with STMS Klongyi in Phuket, Thailand, right? Next part, India's. So guys, before moving ahead, can anybody tell me the name of the exercise that we conduct with the Egypt? So with Egypt, we had basically conducted an exercise. What is the name of that exercise? The name of the exercise was exercise Cyclone 4. Absolutely right. Well done. Well done, Herschel. Now please tell me the dust lake exercise. Dust League exercise with which country? Dust League exercise was been conducted with which country? Dust League exercise was been conducted with Uzbekistan. And PASIX with Thailand. Now India's first advanced 3D chip packaging unit has been established in Odisha. So my dear friends, Odisha is that particular state only which has celebrated its 90th anniversary of being India's first linguistic state, right? It was established on 1st of April 1936. We already covered that point. Now the foundation stone for India's first advanced 3D chip packaging unit was laid at Info Valley, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. The project aims to strengthen India's semiconductor ecosystem and support the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative in electronics manufacturing. The project is named as Heterogeneous Integration Package Solution. See, my dear friends, we are making chips, right? For the chips we are having this Heterogeneous Integration Packaging Solution. That is the name of that project, which is promoting by 3D Glass Solutions through its Indian subsidiary Heterogeneous Integrated Packaging Solutions Private Limited. Clear to everyone? So the total investment is 1943.53 crore rupees. Just that is the important part that you need to remember. Okay, so please quickly tell me the name of the state where India's first advanced 3D chip packaging unit has been established. What is the right answer? What is the right answer, my dear friends? The right answer is Odisha. Absolutely right. Moving to the next part. Recently we came a very important news article about the Femina Miss India having a collaboration with the Vishwa Sutra, right? And now we will be covering that who is the winner of Femina Miss India 2026, and the name of the person is Sadhvi Satish Sale, and she is from Goa, right? And the 61st Femina Miss India was also held in Bhubaneswar, Odisha only. And who was the runner-up here? Runner-up is from Maharashtra, that is Rajnandini Pawar. So Rajnandini Pawar is on the second position. Sadhvi Satish Sale is on the first position in the Femina Miss India World 2026. Clear to all of you? Let's move on to the next article. Indian Railways has improved the finances and passenger experiences. How they have improved? See, my dear friends, there are the scraps, which are the unserviceable materials in the Indian Railways. So what we do is we just sell that, right? So that is called scrap monetization, and whatever the revenue that we have taken from there, earned from there. So basically we have exceeded that particular target. The target India was having last year is 5400 crore rupees, and this year the target was 6000 crores. But we have basically sold the scrap of around 6813 crores. So that's how we have basically improved the finances of the Indian Railways. Okay? And this also works on the sustainability through recycling and reduction of waste accumulation. Okay, I hope this is clear. The known fare revenue which has been earned by Indian Railways is 777.76 crores. Absolutely right. This is the right answer. Clear to all of you? Now, my dear friends, before moving on to the next article, let's try to answer these questions. Please tell me here. First of all, please tell me, are you guys ready for the another quick recall section? Are you guys ready for another quick recall? If yes, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Show some energy, show some fire in the chat box so that we can see that yes, you are ready. Your fingertips are on the keyboard and you are here ready to answer the questions. Okay, so let's start. NLDSL and Dash government signed MOU to digitize logistics using the ULIP. What is the name? Maharashtra. Okay, the MOU aims to digitize the logistics system in state by leveraging the ULIP system, right? Next part, the botanist wins WWF National Award for Invasive Plant Detection. What is the right answer? It's N. Alim Yusuf. INS Sunana departs Phuket, and what is the name of the exercise which was basically held between INS with HTMS Klongei? What is the right answer? PASIX exercise. PASIX. India's first 3D chip packaging unit in Odisha. In Bhubaneswar, Odisha. Absolutely right. The total investment for this is, let me see who will give me the right answer. What is the total investment for this particular project? And we also covered India's part. India has now become the world's second largest mobile phone manufacturer. But what about the total investment that we are having? So Srishti, Pratyush, Pranav, Material Share, Kashish, Pratyush, Harshal, everybody has given me the right answer. Well done, my dear friends. Let's move ahead. What is the name of the person who has been crowned Miss India World 2026? The right answer is Sadhvi Satish Sale, right? Then she's from Goa. What is the name of the person from Maharashtra secured the first runner-up position? That is Raj Nandini Pawar. When it comes to Indian Railways, guys, it has improved finances and passenger experiences. What exactly is the amount? 6813 crore that they have basically been able to generate. Clear to everyone? Everybody is able to answer the question. Okay, so everybody is able to answer the question. Now let's move ahead to the next part, my dear friends. So Rajya Sabha has reconstituted the panel of vice chairperson with the 6 members. So this is an important one. Rajya Sabha has reconstituted a panel of vice chairperson, and this will be effective from April 15, and they have nominated 6 members. The members have been drawn from the political parties differently. That is the Bharatiya Janata Party. There are 3 people. From Congress there is 1 person. From All India Anna Dravid Monitra Kazagam, that is 1. Biju Janata Dal 1. So all these people collectively make total 6, which are the new panel of vice chairpersons in the Rajya Sabha, right? And these panel members will be presiding over the house when both the chairman and deputy chairman are absent. So basically when chairman is not there, deputy chairman is not there, at that point of time they will be presiding the house, right? And they will be exercising the powers similar to the chairperson, right? But still they don't hold any permanent constitutional position. Without holding any permanent constitutional position, they can serve, right? They can serve as the chairperson. They will be having the powers of chairperson. Clear to all of you? 6 members from BJP, Congress, AIA, DMK, and then we are having BJD, that is Biju Janata Dal. बढ़ते हैं नेक्स्ट न्यूज़ आर्टिकल की तरफ. ब्लूमबर्ग बिलियनियर्स इंडेक्स 2026 रैंकिंग्स अपडेट. So Gautam Adani has become the richest person in the Asia, my dear friends, and he has surpassed Mukesh Ambani once again. When it comes to the across the world, so across the world, Gautam Adani was on the 19th position, Mukesh Ambani on the 20th position, and on the top is always like Elon Musk. Elon Musk is on the top, followed by Larry Page, Jeff Bezos, Sergey Brin, and Mark Zuckerberg. These are the top 5 billionaires, richest persons. Okay, clear to all of you? आगे बढ़ते हैं. ISRO and ATRI, that is Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and Environment. They have signed an MOU for sustainable land management. So they will be strengthening the research data sharing, knowledge exchange for the sustainable land management, and they will be focusing on mapping India's grasslands and other open natural ecosystems. So ISRO and ATRI has signed an MOU for sustainable land management. Absolutely right. Now, my dear friends, new snake species Calmaria garoensis discovered in Meghalaya. So this is the new snake species. It is basically discovered in Meghalaya. Just remember the name of the state. Now, former IOA president N. Ramchandran has passed away recently, and this person is basically has been the IOA president from 2014 to 2017, and he made really a very good contribution to squash as the Secretary General of the Squash Rackets Federation of India. Clear to everyone? Okay, ji. So the person name is N. Ramchandran. Now let's moving ahead. Odisha has signed a pact with the NCCR for marine spatial planning. For the marine spatial planning, this MOU has been signed between Odisha government and the National Center for Coastal Research. They will be reducing the regulatory overlaps, minimizing the ecological risk, and create an integrated coastal governance framework. Odisha already became the first state to roll out the second phase of the India's Sustainable Ocean Planning Program along with the Norway. So my dear friends, please tell me the name of the first state to roll out the second phase of India's Sustainable Ocean Planning Program. That is Odisha. When it comes to the MSP, right? This spatial plan aims to scientifically allocate and manage marine and coastal resources, reducing the conflicts among sectors like fisheries, tourism, ports, and offshore energy, right? Clear to everyone? Marine spatial planning, Odisha and National Center for Coastal Research. Moving ahead, Herbalife India and the IIT Madras to set up Center of Excellence. So we are setting up Center of Excellence between the Herbalife India and IIT Madras. So Herbalife India and IIT Madras signed an agreement to establish the Herbalife IIT Madras Center of Excellence, and it will be set up in IIT Madras Research Park. So Herbalife India has signed with which IIT? IIT Madras, and they will be setting up the Center of Excellence. This will be definitely, my dear friends, strengthening the India's capabilities in the plant cell fermentation. Okay, this is going to be India's first exclusive facility dedicated to the national translational R&D. Clear to everyone? Are you guys ready to answer the questions in the chat box? Are you guys ready to answer the questions in the chat box? Let's go up for another round for the quick recall. So moving ahead, let's start. Rajya Sabha reconstitutes panel of vice chairperson with how many members? 6 members. Absolutely right. Moving ahead, Bloomberg Billionaire Index. What is the name of the person who became the richest person in Asia? Gautam Adani. And he is on the 19th position globally. And in who was the second person? Mukesh Ambani. On 20th globally also it is Mukesh Ambani only, right? On the top overall in the world, it is Elon Musk on the top. Now please tell me the name of the organization which has signed an MOU with the ISRO for the sustainable land management. Now let me see who will be giving me the right answer to this question. What exactly is the name of that institution which has signed MOU with the ISRO for sustainable land management? That is ATRI. Absolutely right. Well done. Now the new snake species Calmaria garonesis has discovered in Meghalaya. Former IOA president N. Ramchandran has passed away recently. Dash has signed pact with NCCR for marine spatial planning. What is the name of the state which has signed this MOU? It is again Odisha. Odisha is the same place where we have seen the first such plant that we covered recently, right? Dash became the first state to roll out the second phase of India's sustainable ocean planning. That is again Odisha. Herbalife India and Dash to set up a center of excellence where it will be set up IIT Madras. So IIT Madras is the right answer. It will be India's Dash exclusive facility dedicated to translational R&D. India की ऐसी पहली exclusive facility है, my dear friends, right? So that's all. We are done with the 70 articles. Are you guys able to retain the information? Please tell me in the chat box. क्या आप सभी information को याद कर पा रहे हैं? Waiting for a response in the chat box. And yes, I can see that yes, all the people are able to retain the information. So well done, Harshal, Kashish, Pratyush, Pranav, Material Share, Ria, who are giving me the right answer since very long in this particular session. So now, my dear friends, only last 30 articles are left. Let's try to cover them again quickly. So World Bank has approved the loan for Rajasthan Highway Modernization Project. So Rajasthan Highway Modernization Project, for this we have created a loan agreement of USD 225 million dollar loan agreement for the Rajasthan Highway Modernization Project, which will be benefiting 3 million people. It will be upgrading and maintaining 800 km of the selected highway corridors. Now, my dear friends, just try to see that when there are so many people who are using a credit card, right? How many of you are using the credit card? So when, just take an example that when you are paying from that credit card will lighten up. This will be really a good idea, right? A very interactive credit card it will be. Let me tell you that Czech and AU Small Finance Bank have basically came together and they have launched a co-branded LED credit card. Let me tell you that this is India's first co-branded credit card with an LED power tap interaction feature. That's all that we have to remember. Okay, moving ahead, South Asian Association Person of the Year 26 award has been given to Sayani Gupta. So Indian actor Sayani Gupta has been awarded Harvard South Asian Association Person of the Year. Now CCI has approved the restructuring and merger of Vishakha Renewables business. So guys, not that much important. PWDs with the UID cards to travel in designated unreserved coaches. So my dear friends, when you are basically traveling through the trains, right, you must have seen so many times that there are some Divyangjans there, right, who are basically, who just show you their card, their identity card, and you also allow them, right, out of humanity to that yes, they can stay in the coach, they can use the seat, right? So basically, let me tell you here that PWD, like the department, so basically the person with the disabilities who hold a unique disability ID card, they are being permitted to travel in unreserved coaches earmarked for Divyangjans in the Mail or Express trains, right? So these person with disabilities with the valid UID cards are issued by the Department of Empowerment of Person with Disabilities. So they are having those registered cards, the legal ones, and that's where they are permitted to travel in the unreserved coaches. Clear to everyone? So the Divyangjan card is a e-ticketing photo identity card. EPICS is a railway identity card enabling PWDs to avail travel concessions issued based on valid disability concession certificates. Clear? Let's move on to the next part. Ministry of Minority Affairs has signed an MOU with the IIT Patna under the PM Vikas scheme. So guys, PM Vikas stands for Pradhan Mantri Virasat Ka Samvardhan, which basically focusing on bridging the skill gap so that we can promote sustainable livelihood. So basically, Ministry of Minority Affairs has signed an MOU with the Indian Institute of Technology Patna under the PM Vikas scheme only. And under this part, what will happen is 600 minority youth from Bihar, they will be trained by IIT Patna. So IIT Patna will be training 600 youth of Bihar. Clear? So please remember the full form of PM Vikas. I will be asking you that. It stands for Pradhan Mantri Virasat Ka Samvardhan. Okay ji. Now moving ahead. 18th Civil Services Day to be observed on April 21, 2026. 18th Civil Services Day. My dear friends, it was a date in 1947 when civil servants were described by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji as a steel frame of India. And since then we are celebrating April 21, 1947 as the Civil Servants Day. Please remember the day 21st of April. The theme is Viksit Bharat, Citizen-Centric Governance and Development at the Last Mile. Moving ahead, NIFTEM Thanjavur has conducted Food Business Startup Enable Program 2.0. Let me tell you, my dear friends, the Department of Food Business Management at NIFTEM has organized a Food Business Startup Enabler Program in Tamil Nadu. So the program was being held in Tamil Nadu. The name of the program is Food Business Startup Enabler, And under this, what exactly we are trying to do? We are trying to enhance the knowledge and build competencies in the food business entrepreneurship. So we are trying to build competencies in the food business entrepreneurship. The program is targeted aspiring food entrepreneurs, students, and early stage startup founders. Clear? So NIFTEM Thanjavur conducts the food business startup enabler program. That's it. That's what we have to remember. This was held in Tamil Nadu. Moving ahead, UIDAI has onboarded 100 offline verification seeking entities. So my dear friends, Unique Identification Authority of India. How many people are having Aadhaar card here? Everyone, right? So this Aadhaar card is being issued by Unique Identification Authority of India, which issues you a 12-digit card, which is your Aadhaar card, right? So it onboarded at least 100 entities as a offline verification seeking entities within 3 months of rollout. And what exactly these entities will do? They will be enabling secure consent-based and paperless identity verification through Aadhaar offline mechanism. So Aadhaar offline mechanism के जरिए they will be able to secure the consent-based and paperless identity verification. Clear to everyone? The onboarding is expected to improve service delivery timelines, reduce operational friction, and lower cost of the physical document handling and manual verification. Clear? How many entities have been onboarded? 100 entities, offline verification seeking entities. Now moving on to the 80th article, the 4th diving support craft launched at Kolkata. So my dear friend, the 4th ship of the 5 diving support craft, DSC A23, was launched in Kolkata. The ships are being constructed by MSTRSL Kolkata. तो MSTRSL Kolkata ने इसको डेवलप किया है. And what is the name? DSC A23. That is the right answer. Now moving ahead, government has approved the export of additional 25 lakh metric tons of wheat. In which states? So my dear friends, see here, government of India has approved the export of an additional 25 lakh metric tons. First they assess that, okay, whether this much amount of wheat is required in India or not. If we are having the excess, we can definitely export it. So that's why it has been decided to export 25 LMT wheat after reviewing the production, stock availability and price trends of the wheat. And this will be ensuring remunerative returns for the farmers while maintaining the domestic market stability. Clear to everyone? Now as per the second advance estimates by the Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, wheat production will be 1202 LMT. 1202 LMT will be the wheat production. Absolutely right. Clear है सभी को? Everybody is clear with this? Okay, now let's try to answer the questions. Quickly, are you guys ready? Ready to answer the questions in the chat box? I'm waiting for responses. Show some reactions so that I can see that yes, you are really energetic to answer all these questions. Okay, everybody's ready? Let's go. Let's kill all these questions. World Bank approved loan for which state? Rajasthan. What is the amount? $225 million. CheckU and AU Small Finance Bank has launched co-branded LED credit cards. Absolutely right. Who has been named as Harvard South Asian Association Person of the Year? That is Sayani Gupta. PWD with the UDID card. What exactly UDID stands for? Unique Disability Identity Card. Absolutely right. This is the right answer. Moving ahead, this has been issued by the Department of Person with Disabilities. Now the Ministry of Minority Affairs has signed an MOU with Dash under the PM Vikas scheme. What is the name? Ministry of Minority Affairs has signed an MOU. With IIT Patna, right? And what exactly Vikas stands for? PM Vikas? Pradhan Mantri Virasat Ka Samvardhan. That is the name of the PM Vikas. Absolutely right. Moving at 18 Civil Services Day to be observed on 21st of April 2026. Now it commemorates the 21st April 1947 when for the very first time Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji addressed the civil servants at the steel frame of India. Now Niftam Thanjavur conducted the food business startup enabler program 2.0 in which state? Tamil Nadu. Next part, Dash has onboarded 100 offline verification seeking entities, that is Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDAI. Now the fourth diving support craft DSCA 23 has been launched at which of the following places? What is the name of that place? Quickly tell me in the chat box. Where the fourth diving support craft DSCA 23 has been launched. The right answer is Kolkata only. Government has approved the export of additional 25 LMT wheat. That is the right answer. And what is the, as per the second advance estimate, what are the estimate of wheat production for 25-26? 1202 lakh metric tons. So my dear friends, we are done with all these questions. So are you guys able to answer all these questions? Please tell me in the chat box. Are you able to understand? Are you able to retain? Are you able to recall? Are you able to answer the questions? Okay, so yes, everybody is able to do that. That is really great part. Let's move back to the next set of articles. Okay, so now moving ahead, CDOT has signed an MOU with the Jump Automation for Security Awareness, Cyber Security Awareness Platform. CDOT has signed an MOU with the Jumps Automation for Cyber Security Awareness Platform. So CDOT signed MOU and it aims to develop a gamification platform to enhance cyber security awareness among individuals and enterprises. So my dear friends, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create a kind of platform which will be in the form of playing. Only you will be able to understand about the cyber security awareness. Let's take an example that the Drishyam round that we have added here. So it is a kind of game only that I am playing with all of you. You are giving me the answer and you are thinking that you are able to recall the information. You are basically recalling the information but as a part of the game, right? So that's how we want to ensure that we are basically developing a gamification platform which will enhance cybersecurity awareness among the individuals and enterprises. That is the right part. Now moving ahead, historic 16% revenue growth of the Department of Post has been seen for the fiscal year 25-26. Okay, so the Department of Post convened its annual business review meeting for the fiscal year 25-26 in New Delhi. And we have seen that there was an increase of 16% in the revenue growth. As they have basically recorded the revenue of 15,296 crores. Moving ahead, government has reduced the raw jute stock limits to 0 for traders and balers. So my dear friends, for the traders and balers, we have set the stock limit to nil to improve availability of manufacturers and protect workers' interests. So manufacturers हमें available रहें, workers का interest बना रहे, इसीलिए we have reduced the stock limit to nil. And the raw and jute traders and balers are required to sell their entire stock to the jute mills. So now onward they will be following all these rules and regulations, right? Now next article, Surya Dev Bhumi Challenge 2.0, my dear friends. Surya Dev Bhumi Challenge 2.0 flagship flagged off in Uttarakhand. So this is basically flagged off by Chief of the Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan in the Garhwal Himalayan region of Uttarakhand from Badrinath, organized by the Indian Army. So my dear friends, who has organized? Indian Army is organized. From where? Badrinath. And what are the areas which will be expedited in this particular part? Let me tell you guys, these are really very, very beautiful places and really religious ones. That is Kalpeshwar, Rudranath and Tunganath. This is the part of the 5 Kedars. These three are the part of the 5 Kedars. I believe that if there is someone who is interested in the Indian mythology, that person definitely will be able to, identify these names. Kalpeshwar, Rudranath and Tunganath. Clear to everyone? This will be a 113 kilometer expedition where we covered 3 sacred Kedars, Kalpeshwar, Rudranath and Tungnath. Very beautiful place, my dear friends. Moving ahead, Meghalaya approves Khasi and Garo as the official languages. So Meghalaya has recently approved the Meghalaya Official Language Ordinance 2026, declaring Khasi and Garo as the official state language alongside English. So my dear friends, alongside English now they will be having Khasi and Garo as well as the official purpose of the state. Clear to everyone? So Meghalaya has approved 2 languages. What are the name of the 2 languages? Khasi and Garo. That is the right answer. Moving ahead, World Voice Day we celebrate every year on 16th of April. The theme for this year is Caring for Our Voices. World Art Day, my dear friends, whenever we are showcasing our art. So basically the art is what? It is a garden of expression where we are expressing our emotions, whatever is going through in our mind through that particular art, right? So World Art Day celebrated on 15th of April with the theme A Garden of Expression. Now comes another important point, my dear friends. Rosalind Franklin rover mission to Mars has been planned for 2028. So NASA has given approval for the agency's Rosalind Franklin Support and Augmentation, ROSA. So that's how exactly it stands for, ROSA. Rosalind Franklin Support Augmentation, right? It will be beginning implementation underscoring the legacy's continued partnership with European Space Agency, Rosalind Franklin mission. So basically here NASA has given the approval for the agency's Rosalind Franklin Support and Augmentation, and it will be using the SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket for the launch. And where exactly it will be launched? It will be launched to Mars. So basically, and to understand that was there any kind of life on the Mars? What are the different supporting elements, right? It will be searching the evidence of past or present life on the Mars, focusing on biosignatures of past life. Clear to everyone? The rover can drill up to 2 meters below the Martian surface to find traces of life protected from external contamination. So basically from the outside we are not able to understand that whether there was life or not. But when we will be digging the planet, definitely we will get some insights, and that is why this rover is being sent. Clear? This article is clear to everyone? That is Rosalind Franklin Support and Augmentation, ROSA. That is the right answer. Moving ahead, US has launched the Space Nuclear Power Initiative targeting moon reactor by 2030. So let me tell you, my dear friends, you will be now seeing so many articles on this part where US has launched the Space Nuclear Power Initiative by 2030, right? That is targeting the moon reactor. So basically what we are trying to do is we are accelerating the use of nuclear power stations in the space, and the plan sets a target to develop reactors for missions on the moon in orbit and future journeys. So my dear friends, after that what we will be doing is we will be deriving the power from that moon reactor only when we will be going from one part to another part in the space and going beyond, right? Let's take an example that we have launched a taxi service from Earth to the moon. So now we will be deriving the power from the moon reactor only to run that particular taxi. Clear everyone? Now the National Fire Services Day we celebrate every year on 14th of April with the theme Safe Schools, Safe Hospitals and Fire Safety Society together for a fire prevention. Safe schools, safe hospitals and fire safe society together for fire prevention. That is the theme, right? Now my dear friends, let's try to answer the questions. So C. has signed an MOU with which organization under the C. Collaborative Research Program, that is the JUMP Automation for Cybersecurity Awareness Platform. Moving ahead, historic what percentage revenue growth of the Department of Post in fiscal year 25-26? That is 16%. Department of Posts convened its annual business review meeting for fiscal year 25-26 in New Delhi, It recorded revenue of the 15,296 crore, marking a -% growth over the last year. So how much growth we have seen from the last year in the revenue? That is 16% growth. Now Surya Devbhoomi challenge has been flagged off in Uttarakhand. Gadwal, Himalayan region of Uttarakhand from Badrinath, organized by the Indian Army. Now the 113-kilometer expedition covers the 3 sacred Kedars. Which are these 3 sacred Kedars? These are Kalpeshwar, Rudranath, Tungnath. That is the right answer. Absolutely right. Now please tell me, Meghalaya is approved dash and dash as official languages. What is the right answer? It's Khasi and Garo. That is the right answer. Under which article of the Indian Constitution? Can anybody tell me the article? Under which article of the Constitution? Absolutely right. I can see here Pratyush, Pranav, Srishti, Kashish, Harshal, Material, Shay, Srishti, Kashish, Pranav. Everybody has given the right answer. Well done, my dear friends. Let's move ahead. World Voice Day we celebrate every year on which date? Yes, to the previous question, the right answer was 213. Now please come back to the World Voice Day. It is 16th April, absolutely right. Now please tell me what is the theme. It was like bridging the gap, right? What was the theme of the World Voice Day? Caring for voices. Absolutely right, Harshal. Caring for voices. Moving ahead, World Art Day. Again 15th April. Now the theme is the homework for all of you. Rosalind Franklin rover mission to dash planned for dash to moon, planned for 2028. Clear? So the Rosalind Franklin cover of the NASA ExoMars program is scheduled to be launched to Mars in dash using SpaceX Falcon Heavy rocket. So my dear friends, here it will not be moon, it will be Mars, right? In 2028. The mission is sponsored by NASA and led by the another organization. Please quickly tell me that in the chat box. Now moving to the next question. US Space launched a space nuclear power initiative targeting moon reactor by 2030. Clear to everyone? Okay, so let's come back. Let's try to cover the other articles now. Okay, so my dear friends, here basically it was moon only, right? It was moon only, not the Mars. It was moon only. This was the right answer. Now we are talking about the National Fire Safety Day, guys. We celebrate every year on 14th of April, and the first fire week is 14 to 21st April. The fire safety week is being celebrated 14 to 20th April. Absolutely right. The theme is Safe Schools, Safe Hospital and Fire Safety Society. Now World Chagas Disease Day observed on 14th of April. It was first celebrated in 2020. Next news article, Badminton Asia Championship 2026 men's singles final. So Shi Yuki of China has won the title by defeating Ayush Shetty in final. Clear? This marks India's first ever silver medal in the bronze medals in the men's singles at the Badminton Asia Championship. And with this, my dear friend, Dinesh Khanna remained the only Indian to have a gold medal won in tournament 1965. South Korea dominated the Badminton Asia Cup Championship 2027 in Ningbo, China. So Badminton Asia Championship, who has won? Shi Yuki, the country South Korea. That's all. Moving ahead, my dear friends, India has targeted the expansion of the nuclear power capacity to 100 gigawatt by 2047. So what is the target of India? We are targeting it from 8.8 gigawatt to 100 gigawatt by 2047. This represents an over tenfold increase from the current capacity. The Central Electricity Authority has prepared a roadmap to achieve 100 gigawatt target. तो हमारा टारगेट है वैसे मिनिस्ट्री का 100 गीगावाट का, राइट, बाई 2047. So that's what we need to remember here. Now the Ministry of Defence has signed an MOU of 975 crore contracts. So my dear friends, Ministry of Defence has signed a contract worth rupees approximately 975 crore with the Bharat Earth Mover Limited and Electromagnetic and Hydraulics India Private Limited. Okay. Let's move on to the next article. World Earth Day, guys, is celebrated on 22 April every year. The day theme is Our Power, Our Planet. Our Power, Our Planet was the theme. April 22 is the date on which we celebrate. 975 crore is the Ministry of Defence. Sign up with the Bharat Earth Mover Limited. In India targets expansion of nuclear power capacity by 100 gigawatt. By which year? By 2047. So rest areas we have already covered. Now I think we are good to go, my dear friends. So the US has launched, we already covered this part, National Fire Service Day is celebrated on 14th April, right? And Safety Week on 14th to 30th. So 14th to 20th April. So that's all from here. Badminton Asia Championship, who has won? Shi Yuki. Shi Yuki has won it, and Shi Yuki won India men's single title by defeating Ayush Seth in the final, and this was the another stunt where we could have won the medal, right? So this marks India's first ever silver medal in the men's singles. So basically India का पहला silver medal है. And if he would have won the gold medal, then he would have become the second person after Dinesh Khanna to have won gold medal in the tournament, as he did this in 1965. So Dash nominated to the Badminton Asia Championship 2026 in Ningbo, China. It's Badminton World Federation. Moving it, India targets expansion of nuclear power capacity to 100 gigawatt. By 2047, Ministry of Defence signed 965 crore contracts with approximately 975 crores. Right? So my dear friends, Ministry of Defence has signed 975 crore contract. The Ministry of Defence signed a contract with approximately 975 crore with Dash and Electro Pneumatic Hydraulic Private Limited. What is the right answer? Bharat Earth Mover Limited, BEML, absolutely right. World Earth Day, the theme of that is Our Power, Our Planet. Right, the theme was Our Power, Our Planet, right? Now please tell me here on which date we celebrate World Earth Day. It is 22nd April. ठीक है, the 26th global theme Our Power Our Planet. Now moving at Indian Railways planted dash lakh trees. Okay, so that is a news next article, right? So my dear friends, the last batch of articles for the today's session, and after that we are done with the today's session. So let's cover these articles quickly to ensure our retention and recalling, right? So Ruman Rade party has won the parliamentary elections and he has become the Bulgaria's new prime minister, right? Moving at the deployment of truck mounted attenuators to enhance the highest safety, highway safety, guys, it is not that much important from exam point of view. Just remember the full form of TMA, that is a truck mounted attenuator. This is again developed in order to improve the safety in construction and maintenance zones. So basically there will be a construction and maintenance zone, and there if such kind of incident happens like an accident, so in order to avoid any major injury, we have basically deputed and deployed them their truck mounted attenuators. Now, key infrastructure inaugurated in Rourkela, Odisha recently. So our honorable president inaugurated in Rourkela, Odisha. They include planetarium and science art for the promote scientific awareness. Nirmal Munda Parivesh Path was also been inaugurated. Clear? Nirmal Munda Parivesh Path portal and multiple facilities were inaugurated in Rourkela, Odisha, planetarium and science center to promote scientific awareness. Now, Indian Railways has planted, my dear friends, 81.59 lakh trees across the all zones in 25-26. And Concordia Coach Depot has become the India's first power water neutral railway depot. Clear everyone, let's move ahead. 9th India International Water Week. So guys, India International Water Week. So Minister of Jal Shakti has launched the 9th edition India International Water Week, right, from the date of 22 to 26 September 2026. The theme is climate resilient and water management. Climate resilient water management is the theme for the 9th India International Water Week 2026. Clear to everyone? Now, NITRO has organized a zero waste to landfill. So, the National Institute of Tuberculosis and Respiratory Diseases under the Municipal Corporation of Delhi has achieved a zero waste to landfill status. So, basically, zero waste to landfill status has been given to NITRO, that is National Institute of Tuberculosis and Respiratory Diseases. Right? So, it achieves the full compliance with the bulk waste management generator category under the 2006 solid waste management guidelines. The initiative was implemented by the Why Waste Wednesdays Foundation through its performance Sankalp, and NITRO operates under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Clear? So एक बार फिर से कवर करते हैं. NITRO has recognized as a zero waste to landfill, right? Under the zero waste to landfill status. It achieved the full compliance in the bulk waste generator category under the 2026 solid waste management guidelines, and it operates under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now moving ahead, INS Nirikshak. My dear friends, INS Nirikshak participated in India-Sri Lanka diving exercise 26 in Sri Lanka. He held the bilateral diving exercise involving specialized diving operations and training to enhance the interoperability, cohesion and exchange of best practices between the two navies. As a part of humanitarian outreach, India will provide two Bhishma, that is Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog, Hit and Maitri. Bharat Health Initiative for Sahyog, Hit and Maitri. तो ये क्यूब्स श्रीलंका को दिए गए हैं दोस्तों. 200 इमरजेंसी केसेस का एक बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हॉस्पिटल इससे क्रिएट किया जा सकता है, राइट? दैट इज भीष्म क्यूब. Now moving ahead, my dear friends, VM Frame is a national filmmaking competition launched. So national filmmaking competition as part of 120 years of Vande Bharat celebrations. So Ministry of Culture has launched the VM Frame sectional timing filmmaking competition as a part of 150 years of Vande Bharat. And the objective is quite very simple. In order to encourage the participation of filmmakers and youth to connect historical legacy. So contemporary creative expression के साथ historical legacy को अगर हम relate करते हैं तो definitely the youth will be really encouraged and participate in the new areas. Now there will be 3 cashless categories: reels, AI based films and short films. So here there will be three categories: real, AI based film, short films. Clear? And when it comes to Vande Bharat, my dear friends, it was written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay ji, and he was a Bengali novelist, and it was for the very first time mentioned in Anand Math. Clear? Vande Mataram, written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Bengali novelist and poet, and it was written in Anand Math. Now India has won 4 medals at Mundial do Quijo do Brazil 2026. My dear friends, for the very first time India participated, and India came up with the 4 medals. One is super gold, 2 golds and 1 silver. So, and what is that super gold wala material? That is, my dear friends, the super gold was won by Eleftheria Gulmarg. Golds were won by Yak Churupi. Clear? So India has won the 4 medals at Mundial do Quijo do Brazil 2026. 4 medals, 1 super gold, 2 gold and 1 silver. So basically Eleftheria Gulmarg has basically had got 1 gold. Golds were won by Yak Chirpi Soft Nordic Farm, Le Sadak and 5 Eleftheria Brunost Whey cheese. Right? Now moving on to the last news article, my dear friends. CH Chancellor Srinivas Rao has been conferred with the MS Swaminathan Award for 24-25. The Vice Chancellor of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, MS Swaminathan Award has been given to Srinivas Rao ji. Clear to everyone? And this is coinciding with the centenary birth anniversary of Professor MS Swaminathan this year. So my dear friends, are you guys ready for the last part of the quick recall? Are you guys ready for the last part of the quick recall? Are you ready with all your Brahmastras and weapons to fire down all the answers? If yes, please show some energy in the chat box so that we can move ahead to the Drishyam round, the final Drishyam round of the today's session. Are you guys ready? Okay, so everybody is ready. Let's start. Indian Railways has planted how many lakh trees in 25-26? It's 18.59 or 81.59 lakh trees. Quickly tell me in the chat box. This time I won't be giving you the answer. You have to tell me the answer one by one. जिसने फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट किया जल्दी से बताएंगे व्हाट इज द राइट आंसर. इंडियन रेलवेज प्लांटेड हाउ मेनी lakh trees in 25-26? Let me see who will give me the right answer to this question. It is 81.59 lakh. Absolutely right. 81.59 lakh trees. Now the 9th India International Water Week has been launched. The duration will be 22 to 26 September 26 in New Delhi. What is the theme of the World Water Week? What will be the theme of the World Water Week? That is climate resilient water management. Absolutely right. Now please quickly tell me, Dash has been recognized as the zero waste to landfill. So we covered this institution. It's NITRD. Absolutely right. NITRD. Absolutely right. Now INS Nirikshak participates in the India Sri Lanka DIVEX 2026 in Please tell me the right answer. In Sri Lanka. Absolutely right. Dash National Filmmaking Competition has been launched. What is the right answer? What was the frame? VM frame. Absolutely right. So now, my dear friends, Ministry of Culture has VM frame a national filmmaking competition as a part of 150 years of Vande Mataram. There were 3 categories. What are the categories? Reels. One I have told you. What are the other? AI short films and the short films. Now, Vande Mataram is written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Is that right? Is this the right answer? Please tell me here. Right. Now moving ahead, the first appeared in is 1882 novel. What is the name of the novel? Clear? Dash, it was officially given the status of National Song of India, 1950. Now, my dear friends, India wins dash medals at the Quindial, do Kijo, do Brazil 26. That is the 4 medals. Super gold was won by Flefteria. Now, the Indian IRI director conferred 9th Professor MS Swaminathan Award. What is the name of the person? Chaudhary Chancellor Srinivas Rao. That is the right answer. And it coincides with the birth centenary of Professor MS Swaminathan. So, my dear friends, with this we are done. All the questions are been done. You have given all the answers to all these questions for this Drishyam round. How are you feeling right now after giving all the right answers in the chat box? Please quickly tell me in the chat box how exactly you are feeling after giving all these right answers. So yes, Herschel, it's done and dusted. So that's what I wanted from all of you, the kind of response. So my dear friends, again, I would like to tell you here that your homework is to revise session, then PDF, solve the Drishyam round PDF, and then solve the MCQs. Let me tell you that by today night we will be updating the MCQs. I know that the MCQs of last 3 days are basically left to be uploaded, right, on the portal. We will be updating them, right? Don't worry about it. So show some reaction, show some energy in the chat box that yes, you are really feeling wonderful and great after attending this session, and you are able to retain all the important information from examination point of view. So my dear friends, let me tell you here that that's how we are going to cover all these sessions in the upcoming timeline as well. And today we are done with the 3 weeks. So 3 weeks of April is done. Let me tell you guys a very, very important part. The April is very, very important month, right? And then May, and then 7 days of June. After that, March is very important, and that is why we will be starting with the March day after tomorrow, right? So day after tomorrow we will be having the March 2026 classes starting. So everyone, so Herschel, basically from Tuesday onwards we will be having the daily 8 a.m. class. So from the Tuesday onwards we will be having 2 classes. One is at 8 a.m. in the morning, and the next one will be at 4 p.m. Clear to everyone? So please ensure to mark your presence there. I will be now meeting you on Tuesday at 8 a.m. in the morning in the chapters YouTube channel. Please ensure that you are there. Okay? Now to all the people who are still having the doubt that sir, from where exactly we have to access the PDF. So guys, just go to browser, type chapters, go to the courses at the top right corner. You can see on the third position there is a current affairs package. Just go to the package guys. Let me tell you here that we will be launching the May month current affairs chapter, right? Also, so we will be launching the May month current affairs chapter, and here you can see the April month. My dear friends, the April month is there, and you can see here from 8th to 15th, from 16 to 22. We have already provided you the PDF, Drishyam round PDF and this class, right? So my dear friends, one thing I would like to clarify, I think I misinterpreted that and I told you something different. Let me again tell you that part. So basically on Tuesday we will be having the 4th week of April. April is not done, only the 3 weeks of April is done. 4th week is still left. So week 4 is really left. Yes, Herschel, week 4 is left. Now the other people are basically waking up. Oh my God, how the April is done? No guys, 1 week of April is still left. Okay, so we will be conducting that session on Tuesday. Clear to everyone? Clear to all the people? Okay. So my dear friend, that was all from the today's session, and now I will be meeting you on Tuesday at 8 am in the morning for the class of May, and then in the afternoon at 4 pm we will be meeting for the next class of April. Tomorrow is your revision day. Do all the revision tomorrow so that you are basically able to revise everything, and then we will be meeting on Tuesday. Clear to all? So my dear friends, let's meet you on Tuesday at 8 am. Bye bye. Wish you all happy learning.